Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and Craig Skidmore here on HighVibe.tv for Deep Love Tarot, your weekly love horoscope and reading for the week of November 16th through the 22nd of 2020. I guess that's a little we're leaving Scorpio into Sag, kind of, ooh. But welcome to HighVibe.tv. Please subscribe to HighVibe.tv to get all the exclusive daily, weekly, and awesome shows that are on HighVibe.tv, especially my daily video horoscopes, weekly sun sign horoscopes, and so much more. Make sure that you check out HighVibe.tv, especially during these crazy times. I also have an awesome paid video up right now. It's called Climax 2020 that you can get under the paid video section about all the climaxing going on right now with the planets. It's intense. We're in eclipse season coming up now. It's gonna get nasty.
Lots of climax.
Nasty.
Lots.
Maybe this week with Venus coming into Scorpio, we're gonna get even more nasty.
I'm about that life.
I don't know. I feel like like Craig and I came back today. We were out in the middle of nowhere for almost 4 days. It was technically 4 days. Mm-hmm. And there was no cell service. And coming back to reality, I've done this twice in 1 week. I went to Sedona at the beginning of the week. That's why I wasn't here on Deep Love Tarot last week. And everybody at High Vibe covered. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that did. Anne had the hard spot of sitting in this spot. And I have to commend Anne so much for doing it. And she held such great space for everyone. But I was in Sedona and I was in the Vortex, and then I came back to reality and I went, what the hell is going on? When I came down the mountain, I was like, well, I'm like, what? And then literally I was like, well, at least I'm going to this thing. And then I got back out there and was out there in the middle of nowhere again. I was like, woo. And then I came back today and Craig looked at me, he goes, gosh, freaking reality, man. And I was like, yep.
Yeah, those notifications just started rolling in. You know, all of a sudden we're back fully into having to have the realization that not about to have as much fun as it just had for the last 4 days. So not saying that this ain't going to be a blast here tonight. We love hanging with y'all, but, you know, it's always nice to get out and get a little weird. Get some fresh air up in your body, too. Mm-hmm. Feeling refreshed. Feeling alive. Woo!
Oh, my God. You're making me... Oh my God, give me a Sprite. Oh.
Hydrate.
I gotta say, I feel like coming back to reality is a joke. I'm just gonna be real with everybody. After going out, disconnecting, not being around the TV or phone for as long as I was this whole week, please wake up to just the most... did we all really fall for the television set to tell us that life is the way it's supposed to be? I kept getting downloads of Daft Punk and how television rules the nation. And I kept getting visuals from my guides of so many great people have made movies. They've made so many music songs. Pink Floyd, The Wall. I mean, please, people. That's all I'm asking. Besides, I'm going to give you your love horoscope today, along with Craig. But I did a talk this weekend, actually. I'll put up some clips of it. It was a tough crowd, but it went well. And I ate a sandwich through the whole thing. I'm like eating a sandwich, dropping fucking astrology. And it was a very, very different talk. Somebody came up to me at the event and was like, dude, are you like fucked up or something? I was like, what do you mean? Like in the head? He's like, no, like, did you get all like high or something? I'm like, no, dude. I'm like, it was a tough crowd. I had to deal with the Craig and I actually both kind of dealt with, we were kind of like the outsiders. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's nothing new. We're kind of used to that. But always by the end of it, or not even by the end of it, you know, like 12 hours into it, everyone's about it. It's just that shock factor, that wow factor when we show up in the Leo King mobile, I don't even know what you want to call that, the mobile mansion. It just blows people's minds.
I don't even know. After this weekend, that thing is like it reminds me of how Timothy Leary went across. Well, he didn't do it, but I remember the love revolution. Went across with the vans with love and like people just like went across the nation like spreading love and like having fun and like living in their true authentic selves, and everybody in their suit and tie sitting at home watching listening to the radio and watching the TV just like right now.
Yeah. Well, we talked about some plans also about getting out into nature as well and doing some live videos from the mobile McMansion, from the mobile Leo King studio. So I think there's going to be some really dope content coming out here in the next year.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm debating on whether I can even put out the content that I took, because it's so against this narrative of what's being pushed on television that almost it's like, this is like beyond cancel culture. It's like you're a demonstrous human being for not following the television. And that's scary.
And my brother.
But you know what? The whole part of this weekend was don't trip. And it's sad how many people are tripping. Like, it's just been a laugh this whole show. Because when you get away and you've been in it and then you leave and then you come back and you go into these very deep spiritual places and then you come back and you go, look at all these people tripping. It's crazy. That's all I got to say about that. So let's get into that love horoscope. You never watched the show before. Right now I'm going to do a collective reading. And of course, we're going to read all 12 zodiac signs from the chalice of the...
I love gold chalice.
The I love gold chalice. That was a gift
subscriber
from
High
High
Viber.
Viber.
And I can't find the note. So whoever it was, thank you.
Now you understand. I feel horrible too.
I know. It's awesome.
But Anna has all that like organized, and then we just get on the show and then we forget. So we love you and thank you and we appreciate it. And this sits on my altar actually. Although in Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade, when Indy and his father have to go for Holy Grail, it was the American who conspired with the Nazis and was a traitor.
Traitor.
A lot of traitors going around right now.
Traitor.
That literally picked the gold cup as the Holy Grail, which we all know is not the Holy Grail. It's not gold because it's from a carpenter. But more importantly, I love this thing. But I think it's not so much about the gold, but what it represents underneath. And so, anyway, all 12 of your zodiac signs are in there that are randomly picked because it's like bingo. And I feel like, with cancel culture today, I don't know where I'm at on the list in the next, days, weeks, months, years. But you know what? Maybe I'll be an online bingo person.
There we go.
So, it's going to be wonderful. So I say we get into that collective right now. Talk the astrology, and then I'm going to pull the cards. So I talk the astrology only the collective, and then we go into your 12 zodiac signs, and I'm going to get into that chat right now. And Craig just threw up the collective love reading, and I'm going to pull up the chat.
I did this one pre.
What would you say?
I did this one pre this time.
Wow, so you're all like loaded up.
Yeah, I was showing Calvin, how to type.
Got you. I didn't know he didn't know how to type.
Well, I only showed him the adding an
Should
image.
I not have hired him? Like, I should have probably asked him, do you know how to type? That's a good question to ask. I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah.
We got a lot of questions that I would say that this week is crazy. Mercury comes out of its shadow period. It's done with, of course, the retrograde, but it's opposing Uranus and Taurus. So this buried treasure is I know I found the buried treasure this weekend of life itself and understanding where heaven lies in our lives. And that's up to you to figure out this week for your love life. Like, I would say with Venus leaving Libra and it's squaring Saturn this week, this is definitely not an easy transit, okay? Because Venus squares Saturn and they're both in their dignities. This is tough. Only, anything that just feels like it's just like too much work and it's not bringing you any balance at all, not going to work out. And it's also going to show you where maybe you need to put in a little bit more effort if you want something beautiful. But if you've been putting in a bunch of effort and it's just like, this is not that great, or at the same time, I'll be honest with you, it brings in a lot of insecurities of people not feeling like, oh, I'm not in my alignment spiritually with where I'm at in my relationship life. Well, you got to look and see if you're both on the same destiny or on the same trajectory. So this one's going to be with Venus then coming into Scorpio, which is its detriment. And with the moon in Capricorn this week with Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, there's a lot of detrimental energy. And I think we can find some really positive greatness. The sun comes into Sag with the South Node being in Sag. So, there's a weak point in all of us that is going to be tapped pretty hard this week, I will say. And I think that a lot of us, when it comes to our love stories, is like, do we really want to be in those places anymore? Because if we continue to do that, it sucks. And I think that we just have to face the music. This is the week to face the music and be like, are we going to make an orchestra and like get all the people together in the band and like get all the different parts of the orchestra together and like conduct this thing? Or like, are we really like Sum 41 and we're just a one-hit wonder and we put out a CD and we think we're going to go the distance forever? And maybe we're hanging with Chumbawamba and we're going to do a one-hit wonder and that's it. That's the thing. Some relationships are one-hit wonders. It seems good and then you're like, what happened? Like, I don't know if I would put in Chumbawamba in my playlist and play I Get Knocked Down and like go to like a bunch of people at a party and like be the first track that I drop, you know?
But
Would
maybe,
you?
But maybe you could. So we know who sent the cup now.
Oh, we do?
It's Iggy. I see him in the chat on High Vibe.
Thank you so much for the cup.
Iggy S.
Truly appreciate it.
Yeah, he's on High Vibe.
I want to know about Chumbawamba.
You get knocked down?
Yeah.
Can I get up again? Yeah, no, wouldn't be a go-to. Wouldn't be a go-to, but I mean, hey, you're the producer over there. Maybe you could whip up a little mix. Slap some of that bass. Slap it. Just slap that bass. Then you can get knocked down and get up again. I mean,
well, I mean,
there's a
I
great
think
moral to the story there. It is about, rising above.
I mean, sure. In love, yeah, you can get knocked down and get up again, but how many times are you gonna? Is that what a relationship is? Getting knocked down like so much to where it's like, eventually you're singing, and I get up again, and I get up again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what somebody says before they go on Cialis. See what's going on with the cards. We got the Lovers reversed to start everything off. Wow! Gosh, I love this deck. I am so obsessed with the Vampires deck still. And it's Venus Scorpio, so we are going all dark and a little bit of light.
Darkness.
Ugh. Yeah, we're upside down with love. We don't know what the hell's going on. I don't care if you're in a love relationship and everything. There's an unknown there we're going to get more clear on this, but it's definitely showing some weird stuff here. Our challenge that we got here is the Four of Wands reversed. Wow, that's the marriage card too. And this is the zombie deck. What do we got in this zombie deck going on? It looks like it's a zombie party. I love zombie parties. Look at them. They're all playing and eating their flesh off the bones. They're chilling on the couch. The one zombie's breaking in the door. There's another one back there. And they've got a little cake going on.
Is there anyone juggling?
No jugglers. But I love the girl zombie on the ground. She's happy just gnawing on the bone. And she's having a blast. Look at the dead human in the corner. So beautiful. What a beautiful celebration. Ow, no, challenge reversed. Wow. This is definitely like karmic relationships that feel that they have been like the ultimate. Is it really? Is it really a celebration? I mean, it's a challenge. It's definitely a hard like moment, and this is definitely breakup week. Breakup week. Breakup. Wow. The overall is the Two of Cups, the soulmate card. This is a freaking gnarly week of love. We've done this show over a year. I don't know if we've ever gotten a collective reading. I mean, I would say this is the overall, and this being more in the future. Like, this is like, you're going to have to get over something that you thought was so great to get to the good stuff. The shadow, how do we get through this? And what is it? Oh, it's downcasting pride. I don't like this card because it's so like, you know what? I'm just going to keep playing Chumbawamba and think that it's good. But I really like something else. I'd rather play something else. But you know what? I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm going to downcast my pride, and I'm going to just like put pride in Chumbawamba and just keep playing that all day. What's the clarity of this Lovers reversed? Wow, the Devil card. Addicted to bad love situations. Or just pure sexual only, or more importantly, I would just say like, or there's no good sex in the love situation going on, or you're not attracted to your partner anymore, or it's just something that doesn't attract you, or there's somebody who makes you feel like you have some sort of like enslavement going on, and then there's temptation, but you don't understand it. Why did we get this Two of Cups? Seven of Swords. Our favorite card, Craig.
All right.
This guy looks like I want to go be best friends with him. Not. This is definitely, I would say, more of an unclarity, or maybe we've deceived ourselves overall on who we think soulmate energy is, or what we define soulmate energy is in ourselves and what we want. And that's going to be changing here this week collectively overall. The overall that I got here is the Saturn card of truth. Wow, I don't know how much more hardcore this week can get for love. Let's see what we got. Transmutation. I would say this is going to be some pretty, it's going to feel hard, but it's going to be what gets us where we need to go. And I think that I think that also maybe we have had some false soulmate energy that maybe we feel has become an agent in the matrix and turned into an agent, you know? And I also feel at the same time that this has just been a lot of things that have just been empty, that feel like they have been full, but they're really not. And we have to transform that. We need to bite the bullet, and we need to do the Saturn thing, and we need to get to the real core truth here. Our astro dice that we got is the moon in Sag in the 9th house. It's definitely time to go take new adventures in new emotional places and move on to better emotional waters and explore different emotional feelings. And this is definitely about a new wondrous road here with relationships and love. And I would say it also is time to kind of see bigger here. I think that this has been focused on energy that is just not worth being focused on. It already doesn't feel right, doesn't feel connected, something feels off. It's like you gotta transmute that. You gotta stop playing yourself down too, I feel.
Yeah, there's definitely some form of disconnect going on. You know, maybe like this relationship started in kind of like a whirlwind of passion, yet there's no really like foundation or even like the similarities in what you like to do together, you know, besides just surface, you know, BS. And so it is that time to kind of figure out, is this actually going to work? You know, is it worth the time? And through that, you know, it comes from that communication. You know, you need to actually speak it, what your desires are, and let your partner speak that as well, you know, and see if they actually truly align. But there's something that is off. And I think through the communication, through that process of actually letting yourself be vulnerable with this individual, you know, it might turn out that actually you two have been kind of holding secrets from each other where they might actually match up, but that's not going to come to fruition unless you actually put them all out on the table and, you know, and kind of speak it. Speak your truth, always.
I was about to say, there's some shadiness going on with that Seven of Swords, or maybe you assume somebody's shady, but really you got to look, I think, at the shade in your own self too. And I think that you can't judge others by the shadiness when there's definitely within yourself And I also feel like looking at this, it's like, why keep trying to create a party that's not a party? I just don't understand. Like, we all do it. I have been victim of that. I have been victim of like, I could reset this thing and make it great. And it's like, no.
Yeah, it's never easy to have those talks, It's never easy to kind of say to a person that you've been with that maybe these paths aren't aligning. But it has to be spoken. You have to say that, or else you're just going to get stuck in this, tornado of unappreciation and self-doubt, and then the self-worth comes into it, and then it's just a downward spiral from there, and no one's going to be happy. So it's best to just get it all out on the table, get it all out into the air, so you can start fresh and be who you want to be.
Yeah, and you can't be taken down by. I got a feeling too that this also would remind just people, because there might be singles out there. You might be dealing with a person who's like got a lot of deep insecurity. They're obsessed with you. They think they're your lover. They think that they're your all end all, but they're kind of weird and shady. They're not your soulmate, and you need to transmute that. Or if somebody's trying to bring you down energetically and tell you you do this wrong or you do that wrong, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like this would be a week of just like, if you energetically cut a cord of a low energy, you're going to rise higher. But it's going to be tough for some reason, because I think that they have some sort of spell that they're trying to cast on you to try and turn an upside down situation around, and it's not. And it's
what is it?
It's an obsession.
We know what is what, but we don't know what is what. We just strut.
What the fuck?
Yup.
All right, let's go to the first zodiac sign in the new gold chalice here. We got today. We've got all the crazy psychotic Geminis. Wonderful. Perfect. I'm gonna trigger people today. I had fun. I triggered a lot of people this weekend, and I didn't even know. I just showed up. And since I've been gone from my seat here for a week, I feel like we're gonna bring this show alive. See what's going on with the Geminis this week. We can even get the card going. Well, you did get the Knight of Cups upright, so at least this is you starting to move forward emotionally and going, where am I going emotionally? But you at least are ready to move forward emotionally into something new, or you're ready to keep moving on. I feel like you've been stuck emotionally, and it's definitely, this is like, I think that you've been just kind of in the grind, but you need to also like have emotions again in your life, and you need to start moving forward, because I feel like you've kind of put emotions on the back burner, and I think that it's time for you to put them forward again and see where that goes. I mean, there is the part of any night having the adventure in front of it, so this is an adventure for you in love that you should see what's going on with. You did pull the Knight of Swords upright, so I think your challenge is, I think that you're afraid to kind of rush into to situations when you could be missing out on some great things. I feel that there's a part of you that's lost that whole like guns blazing, let's go into it, let's like go. I love this zombie deck. It's so cool. Like, it's just like, yeah, let's go kill all the zombies. Is he smoking a cigarette too? Fuck yeah, he is. Hell yeah. Get it. Is that an Uzi? He's got an Uzi too. Fuck yeah. Is that dead zombies? That's dead zombies. Hell yes. What's going on, Gemini? Why are you so afraid to go into? Why are you so? I thought that's what you like. Are you like stimulated? Don't you like to get all fucking like woo? It's like you got to get back to that again. I pulled the Hierophant overall. I feel that this is definitely a time for you to find that you need commitments again in your life, to your emotions, to the excitement of life and love again. I feel that, it's almost like you've uncommitted yourself to it, or you're afraid of it. You're afraid of the commitment element deeply, especially, and actually showing up for it. It's like, no, I'm okay. I'm busier doing this, sitting in your emptiness all day. It's not that great. You pulled Calling the Storm as the way to get through this. I mean, it's like, I think that you think love is like a storm again. And it's like, hello, yeah, it is a storm. And it could be a really exciting storm and a fun and beautiful storm. But like denying that life is going to just be some sort of like, perfect thing. And love right now would be just something that would be too much for you, or too much to handle. If anything, you're actually calling in the wrong storm. You're calling in the storm of loneliness and emotional emptiness and cowardice. And then I think you're blaming the cowardice on that you don't think others will show up the same way you do, but you can't say that when you're not showing up yourself. You did pull the Knight of Cups. Well, you did pull two cards here. So you got the 8 of Swords upright, which is, you know what? If you don't move forward emotionally, you're going to get sick. You're going to start not feeling well. And you pull the King of Wands reversed. And you think that you're going to inspire and you're going to do anything great and you're going to be a great leader in anything that you're trying to do, probably work and all that stuff that you're working your butt off, but you don't have an emotional capacity in your emotions and your love life the way that you do. You think that you're going to actually be inspiring when you don't have that? You're actually going to get, feel trapped. You're just going to feel more trapped. You're going to feel more of a reflection of that you trap yourself. If you continue on that path of denying yourself, you pull the Queen of Cups. I mean, this new commitment that you need to make to at least figuring out your love life, figuring out your relationship, I mean, will give you the emotions and the nurturing that you need to feel comfortable and to feel good again in your life. Your overall that you pulled out in this is the Aries. It's time to be bold and strong and define what you want in your life and stop being so skittish. And that's the wrong card. We're going to have to burn that one. Wow, you got the Good Fortune. Holy shit. It's like, hello. It's time to move forward. Time to get to Good Fortune. I don't know what this is a great reading, Gemini. I know I called you out on a lot of shit, but it's like, hello. This is the real deal. Like, what are you doing? And you're risking getting really sick. You're risking all the work you did going for nothing. Because without that emotional support and that emotional need and that emotional connection and that emotional commitment that you need to make and being so afraid that it's all going to go bad, you think all the other stuff you're doing to replace that's going to go good? Oh, your Astro dice are. 4th house, Uranus, Aries. Oh, well, yeah, it's definitely time to churn up the emotions, especially the bold ones. I think that this is about identifying what you want. And even if it's crazy, no matter how it is, whatever it is you want emotionally, you need to actually take action towards it, take initiative towards it, and say something about it. You are Gemini. You need to do something about it. This is the sun coming into your 7th house this week, by the way. So.
Yeah, you have the wisdom to proceed. But sometimes we kind of get stuck up in this thought process and we let time pass us by and then we lose that opportunity. With the opportunity of ourself about actually progressing forward and possibly an opportunity with a great individual that might be standing right in front of us, So it is that time to take action. It is that time to progress forward. It is that time to actually, collect all your thoughts that you've had there, gather them, and put it into an energetic force, that's actually going to bring something back in besides just sitting there and thinking and stewing on what it is that you want, who it is that you want. That person might be there and you're not realizing it because you're just in your mind and you're thinking and you're over processing. So just go out and get it. Take the chance on love. Take the chance in this relationship. Take the chance in yourself also of allowing it into your life. You can't just sit back and just let life pass you by because something might not seem perfect on the surface. Because we all have these jagged edges on the outside. We all have this, issues within all of us. They kind of get portrayed out. But you have to be able to see past that. You have to be able to see past it in yourself and potentially in this partner that you're looking at.
It's like, it reminds me of the guns blazing in that zombie card of the Knight of Swords. It's like, you kind of want to be in that position, right? Like, you want to have that whole there's a zombie apocalypse on the line, let's go guns blazing and have the commander and the tank and all the power and you got to go now. You got to take care of it now. You just don't want to keep having the nothingness come after you emotionally. You got to stimulate things and excite things because you don't want to miss out. If you go into the zombie apocalypse without that guy and the Uzi and the tank, have fun with your highlighter. Let's see who's next. Some of these comments in here, I just can't. I'm just you guys need to stop watching television so much. Libra. Wow. You're programmed, basically. People who make comments about my headband and shit, You're watching the television too much. I think that I feel sad for you because your whole entire life is basically just sitting there and watching the television and saying that with the television, you didn't even know what any of that was unless the television told you. So fucking that's the whole thing is they're pushing magical spells on you and fucking you're buying them and you're fucking taking them and you're taking them and that's fucking dark magic. And have fun with your dark magic shit and have fun fucking believing all that shit in your fucking self because you didn't make that up yourself. That came to you from a fucking television and there you are fucking in my chat room right now fucking calling me out and trying to say I'm fucking part of Proud Boys. I don't even know who the fucking Proud Boys are. Fucking, so have a fucking nice one with your little fucking black magic spell. You're a fucking idiot. You're an idiot. Sorry to say. You're you know what? I'm not going to deal with people who are programmed in the fucking matrix like anymore. Like you're programmed. You're straight programmed. Who did we pick? Libras. I like Libras. Let's see what's going on with Libras this week. Queen of... I like when we get these scepters, man. I just feel like this Queen of Wands energy is... Libras are lush this week. They are like lushes walking around. Like, they want love bad. They're aching for it. If you're in a relationship and you're not getting that, oof, you're gonna have to pay attention to that. If you're single, what is it that's holding you back? I mean, this is definitely a big time with Venus in your sign. You want to use it up.
What was it, Queen of Rods?
Yeah, Queen of Wands upright. Yeah. But the lushness, ooh. What's your challenge this week? 8 of Cups. There you are, afraid to walk away from what you know you shouldn't. I love this. I swear the zombie deck is my favorite deck I've ever used. It's the best tarot deck you could ever get to actually understand every card. Look at how she's ready to go to the mall. And she's like, you know what? There's a storm over there and there's zombies in the parking lot. Maybe I should not go to the mall. Well, I think your challenge is like, you know what you shouldn't be going into, yet you continue to be afraid to walk away to get what you really want. And I've been saying this one. It's been a repetitive kind of thing. And I don't know why Libras, I get it. Libras have to weigh a lot out. But, I think that you're not required to emotionally stay in places that you don't want to be. You get to that lush Libra that you want to be again. You did pull the 8 of Wands upright. The Arrows of Love. So, I mean... the fucking great, this is a great reading, like holy shit. I mean, you got the Arrows of Love, you got all this lush, but there you are. It's just like, you have to walk away from something. You have to, like, whether it's a side dish that you've been talking to, whether it's your recurrent relationship, it's just like, you need to walk and you don't feel lush anymore and the Arrows of Love are going the wrong way. Or you're single and there you are and you want all this Arrows of Love, but there you are right when you get there, you're like, I don't know, like I'm gonna stay doing the same thing again. It's like, can't keep doing that. Wow, you pulled Fated to Suffer. You're choosing to suffer in something you're afraid to walk away from, Libra. Libras be suffering because they know there's something out there that's different. Or that there's issues in a partnership that you're afraid to walk away from to set the boundary and set the line. I mean, I think this Venus and Scorpio is going to do that. Like, you need to set the line on your value. You can't be taking on things that aren't lush. You did get the 4 of Pentacles. So, I mean, this is something you want really bad. This lush, happy, beautiful, like look, red roses, like in your beautiful, loving energy. Like, this is what you value, and this is the stability that's going to bring you the life that you want, the gold coin that you want to grasp so tightly. And you did for your 8 of Wands pull the 4 of Pentacles reversed, which is the exact same card, but you got it reversed. So you're afraid to let go of something that's to move you forward. But there you are, holding on to what you want in your life as an energy of the love and the passion and I'll be honest, Queen of Wands is like the seductive love goddess here. And that's what you are and that's what you want, but I feel like you're too afraid to let go of things that are moving in different directions. You got to go with wherever the direction's going from the universe right now. Wow, look at this. The provoker. Are you afraid to provoke the situation? Or are you afraid of a situation that eventually the universe will provoke for you? The Grand Cross is definitely feeling really crossed out and very like in a traffic jam and pressure. And Wow, full moon. The emotions are high this week, and they could provoke something fucking awesome or something terrible, because you could look at this, even the way it's set up, it's like fated to suffer through the provoking of the emotion. If you're going to let the emotions just run so high and not deal with them and not really experience the real emotions you want, not be afraid to like go into the things that might seem provoking to do what you got to do, but you're going to fulfill your needs, like, I feel like there's either just the most awesome thing you've ever got, finally feeling like you're on that path and it's starting to move that direction, or it's just like, did I really just stay trapped in my jail cell still? Well, maybe, it depends on the state you're at. I know here in California, they're locking us down. They're talking about fucking, wonderful. Scorpio, third house, Neptune. You are shading what you really want from people instead of being direct. So you're trying to beat around the bush. And I think that beating around the bush doesn't get you anywhere. Trimming bushes does, but beating around it doesn't. So you got to get precise and you got to get specific. You need to communicate your sensitive things of your truth. And let it all come out and see what happens. Even though I know it's sensitive, it's hard.
Because I think that they're even shading their truth on themselves, and maybe they feel like they've lost a little of the sex appeal and they can't attract the individual that they want. When you kind of put this negative notion within inside of ourselves that, I'm not good enough, or I don't like the way that I look, it gets put out into the world. And then that's not going to attract anybody. Once you have that confidence in yourself, once you know that you are that beautiful individual, once you know that you do have that sex appeal and that you can attract and that you can get that individual that you want, then you're going to have that confidence to go forward and actually go out and get them. But within that, if you're just stuck with inside of yourself and that doubt, it's just going to linger on and linger on. And you're just going to get wound up being by yourself in the same situation. And so that can be the same with a relationship as well. We can have those tough times when we're not really feeling that confidence within inside of ourselves, the confidence within our partner that they're actually giving that appreciation that we need. But you have that appreciation in yourself. That's where it comes first, and it's going to trickle out and it's going to spread everywhere around you in the relationships that you're in, the relationship with yourself, and the relationship with the world. So just have that confidence and just know it. Know your sex appeal. Know that you're a hot mama or a good-looking dude, whatever it is, whatever you are, and live that shit.
And don't trip.
Don't trip.
And it's like, I like how you brought up the cycles, because it's like, let's look at the lockdown cycle. How long is that going to keep going on? And then the next thing you know, they're going to tell you that the injection is not going to work, or they're not going to do the right thing, or whatever. And we have to do it again until we figure this out.
Yeah. You get to get tested next month. Yay.
Ridiculous. My God. People need to wake up. Oh. Who's next? Aries. I think some people out there need some Aries energy in their life right now. Like,
it's crazy though how many Leos there were.
There was, yeah. I mean, Leo's, we're badass, and like we're not gonna fucking. I'm just gonna say that, like, we're not gonna fucking sit around and like let the television determine our lives. Sorry, not sorry, full offense.
Nope.
See what's going on with Aries this week. 8 of Swords reversed. Well, I feel Aries, you're getting over, especially now that Mars is direct, you're getting over a lot of really hidden insecurities and feeling that you've been in a really toxic place. I don't think you were revealing it to partners or people, or I feel like that you've been working on yourself and you've really understood a lot of your toxic traits and you're getting out of them now. I also think that you're done also like kind of choosing partners, or in your partnership, like whatever, if you've been with somebody toxic or you've been choosing toxic people, I feel like you're really feeling free from a lot of that vibe. And I feel like that you weren't revealing it though. I don't think that you were showing it And I think you could have been dealing with a partner too that you saw, but you almost were willing to accept it. And I don't think you're willing to accept it anymore. You might have to face that this week, but I think that you're ready. That challenge is a hangman. But I think that it's like you've gained a lot of insight. It's like you can still stay suspended if you want to in that insight if you want. You might feel like you're stuck or things aren't going the way that you want to with love this week. But the truth is that you are unhinged. Now you're hanging. It's different to be chained than to be kind of hanging there. There's still ways through this. So you're in a much better position. And I think that the challenge is like, okay, what do I do with all the insight I gained? Well, like, what do you do? I mean, the Judgment card. I feel that it's time for you to like take a bigger sacrifice in your life. Like maybe raise the bar in your life to a higher calling by having a relationship situation, have a higher calling together, or find a higher calling together, or find somebody who has a higher calling like the same way that you want a higher calling. I think that's what a lot of this is. I don't think that Aries can just run around with just because somebody's hot or they're attracted to them anymore. And there's the sacrifice that comes with it. It's like I feel that you've been sacrificing who you are. You're a warrior. You're passionate. You're intense. You're a force to be reckoned with. And anything that's not on that same page or accepts that same energy or doesn't want to make sacrifices the same way you do, it's not worth your time. That's the suspended state that you don't want to be in. When it comes to this toxic energy you're getting out of, the 9 of Swords of Pride. So I feel like there's anxiety that you're still going to get trapped. And I think that, or that you're going to fall back into the same cycle. And I feel that you don't need to feel scared. It's like, it's okay to have anxieties after we've gone through situations where we have a big revealing of like, what the hell was all that? Especially this last, 3 months of the Mars retrograde. I think that you can't be afraid of what you really want in your life. And I think that you also can't be afraid of entering into things, even though, there's a possibility that it might not be the best kind of situation. You don't know that though till you go through it. And I think that you can't run off your anxieties over things. Anxieties teach us great things though. And I think that you've been taught great lessons of going, when you feel anxious because you're like, this is toxic, this isn't good. And I feel like especially, I don't know why, it's like exes that you've been attached to so much that you don't know how to let go of. Or especially I would feel like people that have like just not shown up for you at all. Or they want you to show up and you're not showing up. And it's like you have to remove that toxic energy within yourself now too. You did pull the 10 of Wands in reverse. So it's definitely dropping all this weight that was unnecessarily at all to get you to where the real higher calling is in life. This is a real awesome reading. It's like clearing a lot of the decks, but also at the same time, not just like sit in suspension, like do something about it. Like take some new sacrifices, go to a greater place, be something great, have something great, do something different here, find a greater calling. You got Uranus. Wow. I mean, this is definitely a week of the excitement and innovation and the change and acting different and radical and changing your whole perspective on a dime, or meeting somebody on a dime, or realizing something about somebody right away. Like, whoa, this is really what it is. Like insight coming in like crazy. It's going to change out of nowhere. And wow, you got the Magic card. This is definitely a magical time for an Aries. And I think that Aries, this is what you've been waiting for. And it's like, but you got to be an initiative. You got to be willing to take the sacrifice, because you already sacrificed enough, not making the ultimate sacrifice to what you want to get. And this is not a sacrifice in the sense like, I have to get rid of something. It's more like taking a leap of faith in the power that you are, in the genius that you see, and the magic that's there, and trusting the magic will work once you apply it. You did pull the 8th house Mercury in Leo. So, I mean, this is definitely time for you to get more intense emotionally when it comes to what you want to say romantically. You know exactly what you like and what you don't like. And I think that that's good. But you got to hold those boundaries. So you can't just be like, well, I love them, but my boundaries are being broken. It's like, well, then you got to say that, and you got to speak that up, and you got to know that in yourself. Really, Mercury is the understanding of the spiritual mind. So like you spiritually understand what you desire and want, but maybe those people don't know because you're not communicating it. And I think that you have to be willing to communicate and engage in the conversations again that you need to, especially if you're trying to attract in the things that you want in love. I couldn't really pull a better reading for anybody, and especially the place you're at with that Mars direct right now.
Yeah, it's through kind of working through those roadblocks that we put on our own life. We can be our greatest fan, but we can also be the greatest detriment in our own life. You know, we kind of hold ourselves stagnant in place in that processing position instead of actually working through it. You know, there's one thing about just like sitting and pondering and thinking about situations, but we're not actually processing it. We're not actually working through it. We kind of just get stuck in that motion of the negative thoughts and, you know, not necessarily like a pity party, but just feeling down on it instead of working through it and moving on and processing the situations. And then that magic is going to come into your life once you do that, once you're actually capable of stepping out and then working through it. And it's all going to come together. It's all going to come together. The passion is going to be there. That self-love is going to be there again. That knowingness that you can succeed in any relationship once you actually work through those traumas, once you actually heal yourself. But you got to actually do the work. I mean, as a lot of people say, you know, you got to do that self-work. And that can be, but you can't just reside, you can't just live in that. You have to actually progress forward and live your life while you're processing it, while you're working through those traumas, so that you can bring that abundance back in, so you can bring that love back into your life.
Yeah, because, you know, it's time to bring that love back instead of sitting in all those things that just feel like you're blocking yourself or you're allowing your own boundaries be crossed, and because you allow them. You would stop paining yourself and others by just being like, yeah, I don't like this. And then moving on instead of like staying in and then waiting till the last second and then being like, I don't really like this. I really feel this Mercury 8th house Leo thing showed up in this magic Uranian thing, and especially the sacrifice thing. I feel like it's like, don't sacrifice your truth to be something that you don't want to be, but to go to what you really want to have instead of trying to sacrifice what you want and hopefully it turns into it. It's like, no, like it's either magic or it's not. Like,
you can't just conform, you know, and then you lose a piece of your life, you lose a piece of your soul and who this individual is that you've built your whole life to become. It's very easy to just kind of tear that down quickly, to kind of conform and try to be in a relationship, try to be the individual that that your partner wants you to be, instead of living authentically and living who you are. And, you know, sometimes that's going to take a little time to fully know who yourself is. But as long as you're acknowledging that and working forward, then it's going to come. It's going to be fluid.
Yeah, so, you know, I was throwing gang signs.
Background over there?
I was throwing gang signs in the background, you know, just throwing my side, you know.
Don't get me in trouble.
I'm already in trouble because I'm wearing a headband and I'm wearing, I guess, a Nirvana shirt, and people think I'm part of the Proud Boys. I don't even, it's like, wow.
Wowzer.
But I thought, you know, whoa. Fuck. Pisces. So now I'm going to get us in trouble because I threw West Side in the background. Now what does that mean? I'm a poser? Or I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me?
Poser.
Maybe I'm just a poser.
Poser.
See what's going on with those fishes in the zodiac for this week in your love life. We did get the 7 of Wands upright, so I feel like for you, this is definitely a time that you already know in yourself how victory can be had, but you have to fight. I don't want to say you have to fight for it, but you have to be willing to stand your ground more. And I feel that you're not standing your ground in what you want passionately. It's like you're kind of accepting cliche, or you're kind of accepting like whatever. And then there's some Pisces I feel that are just kind of like, I'm going to keep fighting for what I've got because I feel that's all I can have, or that's all I should have. Those are questions that you need to have with yourself this week, if that's really true or not. You did pull the Temperance card as your challenge. Something's not natural. Something's not, it's like, you know, and I don't know, I felt that. I got to be honest. I feel like something's just not natural here. I feel like you're at a place in your relationship, or if you're single, like you're dating or not, that there's an unnatural thing that you're still fighting. I think singles that aren't dating, it's like there's an unnatural part of yourself still trying to fight to still stay single, even though you don't want to. I think this is relationships that are fighting over unnatural relationships just because you feel like it's natural the way it should be, but that's not the way the universe works. There's an unorganic element to things here, not flowing in the right way. You did pull the 5 of Wands reversed. I mean, I feel that it's like you're afraid of confrontation, and so you are just accepting the mundane. And I think that's not magical. That's not fish life. I mean, my Pisces cat has no choice but to love Leo, my other cat, that I brought her into the picture for him, right? So, you know, but she has me, or she has other people who come around. And I think that, you know, it's like, this is a beautiful time for you to find beautiful instead of stay in the skimping yourself. I feel like you're skimping yourself. You got parasite. I think that the parasite is with you taking the non-natural things of beauty and love and happiness. I think that you're taking false aspects of that, or you have a parasite within yourself energetically of playing this, fighting for something that's holding you back from what you really want. I just feel like you're fighting against yourself, even though you feel like you're fighting in a just cause. But I would say that it'd be unjust. You did pull, wow, you did pull this Page of Pentacles. This is, if you're going to fight, it better be like you have an understanding from the universe that this is a beautiful thing to be fighting for. And I think that this is in your mind that you really have to understand. And I think that there's an understanding that the universe will signal to you, like, yeah, this is worth fucking doing it all for. Instead of it being like, I'm just doing this to do it. I feel like the universe is going to show you like, hey, this is worth fighting for. Maybe it'll be a reflection of like what your friend is doing in a relationship. Or you can look at another couple and be like, wow, that's how he treats her or she treats him. Like, wow, that's great. I wish I got that. I feel like you're going to get messages from the universe of how to see if you should be continuing this forward motion and where you're going in your romantic life right now and the way that you're doing it. You did pull the world card, and I feel that it's like there's a world that is coming to an end and a new one that's trying to begin, but you're not giving it enough energy. You already know it, but and there's also going to open up the doors to a new world. But I feel like, you know, I don't know. I feel like that for you, I feel like something's just trying to shift gears for you finally in your life, and you're holding it back. You're like not willing to get involved. You also don't want to deal with anybody who doesn't have a lot involved. You are putting all your energy, I think, in the most like tireless places, and because you don't want to put any energy and have an excuse to put it to the love sector in a better way. I feel like, you know, I feel like you also think that the world doesn't try hard enough for you, but actually I think the deep reflection is you don't try hard enough for the world that you want with love. Your overall that you got is the 9th house. It's time to have the faith and open up new philosophies, ideologies, and look at different ways of looking at the story of your love life, and also have a lot more hope for what you want instead of not believing it's possible. Like it is, you know, it is possible to get out of a shitty situation. Look at that, you pulled divinity. Is it really that divine, or is it divine? If it's not, it's a parasite. So if it doesn't have the hope that you really want and the exciting story you want, and it feels divine and it doesn't feel parasitic, then you know you're in the divine, you're in the right space. But if you're feeling like there's no hope and you don't feel like anything is really divinely aligned right now, it's parasitic. It's toxic. It's eating away at all the good things in your life, and it's not bringing anything else positive. You did pull 12th house Cancer Mars, so that's a debilitated Mars in the 12th. Oh yeah, in Cancer. That's a fall of Mars. It's, you know, this is cutting away some really extreme and I would say malefic emotional energies that are holding you back. And I think a lot of it has to do with like staying in the same cycles emotionally that you don't know how to get out of because you're too afraid. And you have to get over your emotional fears of fear itself and take action and find courage again emotionally, what you really spiritually want. And you have to do it for God. You don't need to keep doing this for an outside source in the physical realm or another person. This is for a divine purpose within yourself.
That's where it all starts, you know, and it's about stopping that spread of fear, stopping that spread of doubt, stopping that fear of unworthiness that resides in all of us. You know, we all feel that. We all go through the motions, you know. We all seem to block individuals out that maybe can bring us a lot of joy into our life. But for some reason, we don't fully allow it. You know, we don't fully allow ourselves to process it. And then it just becomes another issue that we're dealing with. It just adds to that doubt. It adds to that sorrow. Instead of building on it, instead of allowing that appreciation, instead of letting that individual into our life and letting them change our world for the greatness, we kind of get stuck back in that, like you're swimming in a little fishbowl, you know, like you were at the fair, you know, and you threw that little ping pong ball in there and you got scooped up, but now you're just in that bag getting carried, getting shaked around, you know, instead you're just lost in there. Instead of maybe jumping out and joining that other fish party in that bowl next to you, you have the power to get out. But are you going to actually use it? Are you going to actually utilize that fin and put it in motion and put your life in motion and progress forward? It comes down to you always. It's your choice, not whether you're going to make it or not. That, again, falls on you.
It falls on you.
Hey, don't trip, Pisces.
I was cheering the Pisces. Have a drink of Sprite or something.
Cheers, Pisces. Cheers.
Refresh yourself. Mentos freshness.
Damn right, Julia. You gotta let that freak flag fly.
I was about to say, before we go on to this next sign.
What up?
I just am feeling right now, and I don't know why, because it's so funny. I came in so hilarious, and then I'm feeling a lot of interesting energies right now. Like a lot of people right now are really easily triggered about a lot of things right now. A lot of people are falling for a lot of these spells that have been casted by this weird energy in the world right now. And so you have to remove those spells and you have to get back to your true self here. And that's what this show is about. And I know it's not easy to do that. It's hard. And it encompasses a lot of parts of yourself. And you have to be willing to also see the reflections. Like Craig and I this weekend, I saw people I hadn't seen in 10 years, whatever. It's like they still know who you are and they still see that beautiful reflection in yourself. And they see, and when you see tons of people giving you good reflections back and acknowledging that same reflection back, you know you're in your true self. And I feel that right now, it's been hard with this year in 2020. It's been difficult to have those reflections, but you can't have the fear because that's how you see who you are. Those are our mere reflections of the people who are around and so forth. And there's something out there that's trying to hold people from that right now. And I think that you need to be very, very real and honest with yourself about asking some deep questions about what the fuck is really going on. And that's what we've been trying to say here for a long time before this even happened. And all I'm just trying to say is, like, I know we're having fun doing love right now, but you're not going to get much out of this if you're not willing to do the real deep work right now. And that's about, like, if you're going to keep falling for all the fucking projections that are going around and all the false fucking fears and all the crazy shit that is literally making you look like an idiot. Because that's what you're reflecting, is the sheep idiot that's being herded. And I just gotta say it. Because there's a way more fun world out there that you can create right now, that you can embody and live. But if you're gonna sit in fear, and if you're gonna sit in that space where you're just scared, and you're too afraid to truly be in your full self, and you're not going to cross that bridge like you crossed the bridge to even come into spirituality, be willing to watch a show like this, then what's the point in continuing your evolution spiritually then? If you're afraid to jump over this one that's been in front of us in 2020. What do you think's coming over the next decade, next 2 decades, 3 decades? Like, come on. Like, this. I know this is a hard one. I don't want to get all boot camp on your ass, but, like, let's jump the fence. Please. Please. Because, like, I was away from my phone for most of this week, literally 6 out of 7 days. And I went on my YouTube and I looked at my subscriptions and I saw, let's just say I just saw a lot of like what we see in our news and our late night TV hosts and stuff, just like selling the story. Selling. You got to look at everybody as selling the same story everywhere right now. Selling. It's how they make their living, is selling that story. They're not willing to, and they're too afraid to take the risk to say the truth because they're not even saying the truth because they're saying what they have to say, what they're produced to say. And I'm just trying to just like, you know, I don't want you to wake up and you realize that, you know, I warned and I said this era of providence is like, you got to get on the boats and you got to, it's risky and you got to get on the boats to the different providence, to the different area. And I just feel that this is a moment that people need to really take in deep. And this is where you jump the fence. This is not where you continue to just sit around and continue to believe the false narrative that's being spread like wildfire right now. I just had to say that.
And thank you, LC, for that donation there. Much appreciated.
Taurus is the bulls.
Some cow patties.
Yeah. Taurus is.
Chocolate cow patties.
The moon reversed. Owie, mama. Ooh. All right. This is a lot of suppressed emotions here, or deep fears of expressing the emotional self and really letting it out. I mean, this is you kind of, you know, cutting yourself literally emotionally, right? Like continuing to not deal with things emotionally, suppress emotions, be afraid of your true feelings, be scared of emotions in general. I think Taurus, you know, like just like you need to put more emotional effort into the emotional realm. I think that, you know, throwing off a little emotion here and there is one thing, but like it's a full frontal that you got to show up with now. You can't kind of show up a little bit here and a little bit there emotionally. Like you got to like let energy know in relationships like where you're fully at emotionally. You can't just continue to be kind of like, I don't know, on the fence here and on the, and like, let me just kind of, you know, or just show up randomly emotionally and then back away, and then like you gotta fucking fully bring it or not, because it's being suppressed. This is not a good card. The moon reverse sucks. And you might think it's in a partner not showing up emotionally, but really it's you. It's a reflection of you. When usually the facts will show otherwise, because the moon reversed is lost emotionally. And that's within yourself. You did pull the 5 of Wands as your challenge. So, you know, it's like you're afraid of confronting deeper emotional situations. So it's like you want to play with emotions, but you don't want to actually deal with them fully. And this is not a playground. You know what I mean? Pulled the Sun card reversed. This is you not in your authentic self. I think that you want to shine bright, but if you're not going to, you got the Sun and the Moon reversed. Wow. I don't think I've ever done that before in this whole entire show of, and I don't even know how many episodes we've done. We've done a lot. It's not like, you know, this is like the 5th episode or something. So, why are you so afraid of being who you want to be and what you want to have and what you want to do emotionally and as your soul, to express that? Who's it gonna affect? Is it even the partner? Or is it other people? Or is it other things? Because with 5 of Wands, there's a lot of different people involved here from different areas of life. And how are you going to get to the love you want if you're so afraid to be what you really want to be fully, and you keep like putting other situations or other people, and you feel like it'll conflict a lot of areas of your life, so let me not deal with it. Well, your shadow that you got is obsession. It's like you're obsessed. You want something so deeply, but yet you're obsessed with staying away from what you really want, which is your true self and your true happiness and your true childlike, emotional, happy, beautiful self to be expressive and have it with that, and the emotions to be felt fully. But it's like you're scattered too much, which doesn't allow that's what makes it feel like such an obsession. But then you don't show up for your obsession, which is even crazier. You did pull the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. So, I mean, I think that it's like, I think for you, I think that you can't keep playing the victim card anymore emotionally, as that's what emotions you're doing, because those are over. It's like the past. It's so long ago. It's like you're finding excuses to find I'm sick, or I'm not in a good place, or I'm poor, or I don't have enough this, or I don't have that, or my body's not good right now, or I'm not healthy, or I haven't, like these issues emotionally are just a shitty pattern to be in right now, Taurus. And they're not going to get you anywhere that you want to go. They're just going to continue and continue and continue and continue and continue and continue and continue. And you're going to have to pull yourself out of that. Like yourself. Like nobody can do that for you, because you're just going to reflect back that they're not doing anything for you. You get the 10 of Pentacles. I mean, what I think overall you want is this great, shining, beautiful love story, and with a very secure place and everybody to be happy within the castle. But if you're not in your true self, then nobody's going to be happy in that castle, because then you're not built, you're not in a true castle, you're not in a true foundation that can hold that, and you're in your false self. And a false self in a castle trying to bring a bunch of people together, not going to work out. I threw 2 after parties this weekend, and you know what? That thing banged hard. And I was just in my true self. I wasn't trying to be something. I wasn't trying to do anything. I was just like, yeah, fucking, people were like, can I fucking come to this? I'm like, fuck yeah, come on in. You know what? It fucking banged hard. And it was awesome.
It was.
And I know
awesome.
People told me it changed their lives. And I know that might sound fucking crazy, but it did. And
shit was needed.
Shit was fucking needed
that
bad.
Release.
And all I'm saying is if you're gonna try and like have this great fucking life and all these great things, and you're gonna show up and you're gonna try and be like, well, I can't, like, I don't want to hurt so and so, or I'm gonna be distracted. You're distracted. This is just like distracted on your own emotional insecurities and emotional pains and emotional situations, and then taking on emotional pains of others. It's like, is that all you're gonna do? Is that you just keep taking on everybody else's shit while you're taking on all your own shit? Instead of like, fuck yeah, I'm going to take on only the good shit, and I'm going to fucking have a great time. I'm going to be my full self who I want to be. And I don't care what anybody else thinks. And if they don't want to walk in, and that's whatever. It's like you're overextending yourself and obsessed with overextending yourself, especially regarding getting lost and playing around with situations that are not fun and not even worth it. Your overall that you got here, wow, you got the Sun card. I mean, you got to get back to your source of your true spirit and self, 100%. That's like clear as a day, especially with the Sun and the Moon card that were reversed. So having this overall, especially in this Astro, deck, this is the number one thing. Number one, you got to put your full, extreme, beautiful, immersive self back to the front. And, oh, this is the wrong, we got to burn that one. Wow, karmic path. You're at a big karmic path in your life. Are you gonna obsess over the same shit that you keep being put on? Or are you gonna finally set the karmic path of the one of your true spirit and actually have what you really want in your life? Instead of keep getting shit on because you choose to keep shitting on yourself emotionally. Of course you're gonna get partners who are gonna shit on you. If you ask to be shit on, you're gonna get shit on. If you ask to get peed on, then they think it's like some fucking Japanese like fucking porn. And they're peeing in your mouth. Oh, I don't know what else to fucking say. You pulled the 9th house, you pulled Virgo, you pulled Venus. So I think that it's time to open up, emotionally with your relationship life, especially all these specific ways that you want relationships to be. Like, I feel like you have this certain thing that's unattainable in what you want out of your relationship life because you don't show up in the same way at all. Like, at all. You're not showing up at all. Like, you're playing like victim, and then you're playing in the background, and then you're saying what you want in reality. It might look, it's like you're asking an artist to go paint you a picture and you want it to look exactly the same. It's like it'll get close, but it's going to have its own unique blend to it. And I think that you need to remind yourself of the beauty of the unique blend and being willing to seek a different set of ways that you look at criticism that you give to partners and to yourself. But I think that the deeper part of it is like learning that natural beauty comes from willing to experience and to grow and to show up and to, you need to choose your adventures here. I think that you're overextended in choosing pointless adventures with pointless situations that are blocking you from the love story that you want.
Yeah, there needs to be some aspect of confrontation in there, and that's not like going out and picking a fight with your partner or going out and picking a fight with an individual, but it's that confrontation with inside of yourself. You know, you can either, it's going to be hard work to change these aspects of your life. It's not easy to kind of step up in your own life and say, okay, no, I'm worthy of this. It's really easy to just kind of fall back and let people portray who you want to be. Let them kind of put this idea of who you are and just kind of conforming to that. But I think it's time that you stand up for yourself. I think it's time that you find yourself as well. You know, you may have lost your way just a bit. So I think it's time to really have that confrontation with yourself and say, no, I'm going to put in this work. I'm no longer just going to sit back and let people kind of dictate who I am, who I should be. Stand up for yourself. Fight for yourself. You got to fight for your right to party. I'm feeling a Scorpio party coming up too.
I'm sure you are. Venus is on its way. You were born with Venus and Scorpio in retrograde.
Yeah, Venus retrograde, baby.
All right, who's next? Aquarius. It's Aquarian times. Act like Aquarius. Act like Aquarius.
1K collective.
Did we just reach it?
No, but we are.
Oh, don't be touting off fucking until it's real. These people want to play around and want 1K collective and they can't reach 1,000, then they don't get no 1K collective.
I'm trying to put it into the universe.
Hey, we always put it into the universe, but you know, people are afraid to share this stuff. They're afraid.
Come on.
They're afraid. It's cool. You know, like they're like, I don't want my friend to like think I'm crazy. You know, like it's cool. I get it.
Don't be scared.
People are afraid to share Leo King just because it's like, oh fuck, like fool's crazy.
Shit is crazy.
Or he's not spiritual because he fucking wears a headband. Or he's not spiritual because he fucking pollutes.
You're
not
polluting,
spiritual.
bro.
He hits a jewel.
At 450.
Huh?
You're polluting. You're not spiritual.
Yeah, I was accused of that this weekend. That I wasn't spiritual because I have a big RV and it has a generator. That's the spiritual community today. Like, as it's not like I would be like, oh, you're not spiritual because you're serving out fucking, you know, hallucinogenic mushroom tea to people. Like, do what you gotta do. Like, you know. Everybody else was fucking chill as fuck. Mm-hmm. The worst was they took where the pipe is, the exhaust of the generator, and then they took a box, and then that box projected all of the fucking exhaust back into the RV. Instead of like turning it maybe a different direction, I don't care what you want to do. Like it wasn't, and they could have turned around in a different way. It was so stupid. It was like the most stupidest situation I've ever seen in my life. I remember sitting there going like, everybody too was like, can't they just turn around and they would have a better view, like they're a vendor. They were like a vendor. Imagine like if there was a street, like it's dirt. Imagine if there's like a dirt road and everybody's walking and they see the vendors and your vendor was turned like 3/4 of the way away, right? So like you barely see them and then anybody coming back the other way won't see you. That was them. Everybody else had no problems with anybody else with generators or anything because like their backs were to it all. They chose to put their full frontal right into it, like, and just sit there. It was like very disturbing. I'm sounding like an Aquarius. I know Aquariuses are watching right now. An Aquarius would have went in there and been like, this is stupid. Damn, are you gonna be peeking out on this weekend or this week, Aquarius? You got the World card. It's your card. I feel like you're coming into a new cycle, though. I feel like you've completed a cycle. You're ready for a new cycle. So this could go in many different ways. It's a very positive card, though. So it's all leading to the positive. But you got to follow that positive. And I feel that for you, this is about fixating on what you really want instead of like continuing to kind of like not make that change. You're going to have the world you really want, but you got to like be willing to also own that world too. You might be afraid to like complete a cycle of a relationship, or you know, sometimes relationships go through their cycles that you're just over and it's like, let's put this to bed and let's move on to a different direction now. Or you got to put a whole thing out of cycle, or you're just a Aquarius that's on another planet right now and you're watching, you know, via UFO, and you're behind a planet right now and you're bouncing off satellites and you don't want to be known that you're being watched right now and you're fucking like too afraid to come back to connect.
I was hoping to see some UFOs this weekend. I didn't.
Oh, there were plenty.
I didn't.
They were just, you know, right in front of your eyes, and they were like, I think you saw about 200 of them. The Tower card reversed here. Is your challenge. I think that you think a new world would destroy your life for some reason. It wouldn't. If anything, it would give you life that you really want. So I think that there's a challenge here of like, you don't want to change things the way they are, even though you do. Like, which reminds me of exactly the story I was saying right before this. Like the people who had the tea fucking thing did not want to change the way they had things to make things better for them and better for everybody around. And they just honestly sat in, I don't even know the word, but I would say like agony, like the whole time. Yeah. And like they were trying to be this like ultra spiritual. Like I wish JP Spears was there fucking with us. Like it would just been so easy to just be like, hey, like let's have a good time. Like stop throwing around the whole like I'm more spiritual than you, and like, don't you want to sell more tea?
Yeah, if they would have came and party, they would have sold out all their tea.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. They weren't part of the fucking thing. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Overall, I think that this new world is offering you something so great where it doesn't have to be suffering anymore and feeling like you're in a place that you feel like you get the short end of the stick. I feel that you are continuing to choose the short end of the stick the way that you've been playing things in relationships. And you have to be more upfront. But I think that Tower reversed is like, you know, the Tower is not all bad, right? The Tower actually is also where we can find great power and achievement in our life. And I think that there's this reversal here with the world. The world card sometimes needs the Tower, right? Like it needs to have a world that's defined on how big are we going. Sure, at one point it will end. But the one thing about the Tower is not all bad in the sense that at least they were a tower and it does come to an end at one time. Like, you know, I mean, you know, you're a human being that at one time towers to this age and then you die. And it's about the greatness in what you do. But I think that this is, there's nothing to worry about here because there's a reset here. There's a better way. And it's not going to feel like, it is the card of the victim, the 5 of Pentacles. And I think the reversal is like, you're not a victim, but you might be playing it or choosing to. Look at this. Like, this is your shadow. To be or not to be. Like, should I, you know, is the question. Like, you're in Shakespeare world and you're kind of like unsure about what to do here, or you're too afraid of, I think, deep fucking, that's why I said, are you having a peek out You ready to like look at this? She is like, fuck yeah, look at the fucking star come down, like the moon energy. She's willing to like take in the serpent too. Like there's a willing to take it all, like, you know, but I feel like you're still playing around and fidgeting with like an unsurety of situations. I think that you have to look at that in yourself, like instead of the alternative, which would be like, oh, you know, this person might be unsure. I'm unsure how this person is, like, or, you know, this person's this way. It's like, well, if they're that way, then stop being with them or stop trying. It's like not worth it. You did pull the Hierophant reversed with the World. Wow. Yeah, it's like you're not showing up to the new world. You need to create like a new way emotionally in your relationship life, like some sort of like, you know, like calling to showing up to what the world is that you want it to look like, instead of like playing games with like minor parts. Like it's like a full show up, like, hey, this is what I fully want, this is what I fully don't like, this is what I fully want to do, this is what I fully want to have in my life. It's like you're showing up and like, well, maybe a little here. It's like, okay, we're not moving the yardstick much at all. Like you're basically saying like, let me just spike the ball down and just keep throwing out 30 seconds on the clock. Like like it's time to make a play. And you pulled the Chariot upright. Wow. So, I mean, it's time to move in a better direction in your life. It's time to move the direction that you really want to. But I want to remind, you know, all Aquarians out there, when it comes to the Chariot, it is a card about moving into the ultimate space that's divine, guided by the universe. It's divine guided by, you know, your calling to move out of the same boring, understood roads that don't take you to where you want to go in your life. So I think that this is getting out of a place that you don't want to be anymore. Well, you pulled the second house. It's time to own the life that you want to have. Know your value, know your worth, and also express it. Like a coin says it's worth this much because it's imprinted and defined of what it is. I think that you're going to have to show in partnerships or the kind of relationships that you want to have, like what your value is. I know that you want to like not show it and have people see it on their own. We all do, but I mean, I hate to say it, Taurus shows it. Taurus wears nice clothes to make you go, oh, that person looks nice. You know, they smell good. Like, you know, like you can do that, but like, it's like, you also have to like own that and like the expression of it and like the full energy of that. There's something about like, I have to burn that one too. I keep pulling those cards and it's the wrong card. Trust. Ooh. I think that this is trust in the new journey, trust in the new world, trust in what you really want, instead of, I think you're playing around with, should I or should I not, or is this good or is this bad, or should I? It's like you're sitting in a influx of purgatory here, and you're the one choosing to be in that way. And they could have some trust issues, and I would say there are insecurities in yourself about self-worth of what you really want. You did pull Scorpio 8th house Uranus. Oh yeah, it's time to be bold and time to go, like, it's time to attract what you really want, but I think it's time to try something different to get what you really want. I think that it's time to, you know, boldly go for what you want to connect with in your life and go full at it. And if it doesn't work, you have to make a full change, and it might seem crazy and radical, but you are an Aquarius. So the more you do that, the more you're going to be in alignment with yourself and things go better. Trying to play normal is pretty boring for an Aquarius life. Like, I'm going to be real. Like, you're going to not like your life. And when I mean normal, I mean like you might think you're innovative and different and you have uniqueness, but like if it looks like everybody else around and they're doing the same shit, and you're not doing the same shit, you're not an Aquarius at the moment, and it's time to get back to that. For your love life too, mainly.
For love. But where's that fear coming from? You know, that fear of tearing down the bad aspects, or not necessarily bad, but like the aspects that aren't serving you fully, the aspects that aren't serving your relationship fully or serving your partner fully. You know, if you're not there in it, if you're just trying to kind of control every aspect of the relationship, trying to control every aspect of your life, it's just going to spiral out of control. You know, you need to loosen the reins. At some point, you kind of just have to allow the universe to kind of run its course a bit. Obviously, you have to be a player in the game. You have to be present. You have to be able to make the right decisions when they're laid out in front of you. But you have to allow them to be laid out in front of you. You can't just kind of dictate where it is that you go, every aspect of your life. Kind of go with the flow a bit and let that shine into your life. You got to let that love in there. If you're just kind of projecting and saying, no, I'm this individual, this is the type of person that I am, then you're always just going to be in that box instead of kind of flourishing. And kind of, it's like a vine, you know, a plant. Those vine plants just go where they need to go. They follow the sun. They follow their energy force, and they go out and they reach and they grab on, and then they continue to grow in a new direction. They don't just stay in one aspect. They don't just stay in that pot that you planted it. They flourish. They grow. They expand their life force. So maybe there's certain aspects that you need to tear down so that you can allow yourself to grow, but you need to look within. You need to figure those out, and then let the universe run its course and take you away, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I like the plant analogy. And plants grow in different ways, like, right? They are unique in the way their roots grow. They're unique in the way that they bloom. And I feel like this is like a new blooming onion coming out. Like
some fresh dip.
Yeah. Like the new Outback. To go on. Defining what that is, though, and blooming it into your real life. You know what I mean? Folks, Scorpio's next, folks.
Oh.
Folks.
It's party time, baby.
Folks.
It's party time, baby.
Folks.
You know why? Because ain't no party like a Scorpio party, baby.
Folks.
Baby.
Folks.
Yes.
Folks. Happy non-birthday.
Thank you.
All right, Scorpio. Venus comes into your sign this week. Scorpios are going full frontal.
I'm about that life.
Let's see if the loins are on or off this week.
Weird.
The heartbreak card. Oof.
Oh, sweet. Perfect.
I mean, you kind of like it a little sadistic, though.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Maybe it takes you realizing a heartbreaking situation to kind of understand maybe what you know, it's either you or the other person, or you know, we're gonna have to get more clarity on this. This is an intense card in any love reading. It's always, of course, the card we don't want to get, but we got to get more clarity before I go start rattling onto this one, because a million things are coming up. But what came first is there's a little bit of like obsession with the heartbreak. So maybe you're still focused on an ex that you feel heartbroken for. Seven of Cups is your challenge card. It's like not wanting to look around too much, still focused on something. So I felt that. It's like, I think that, you know, it's like the challenge too is maybe you're looking too many areas and you're heartbroken because of what you don't see. But I don't think that you've looked enough. I don't think that you've dreamed enough. I think that you're afraid of being heartbroken because of past heartbreaks, while at the same time still being heartbroken. If that makes any sense. Nine of Wands reversed. Time to take down the walls. There's a defense up that needs to come down. Maybe defending a heartbroken person, thinking that they're still gonna be an option. Keeping really sadistic options open is what I'm seeing here. Or if you're in a relationship that's really sadistic and bad and you're still like, they keep breaking my heart, but I'm gonna keep it open. It's the shadow here. Oh, the colorless angel. We love her. She's just so gorgeous. She's done too many Instagram shoots. She's just such a hard life. Not enough makeup. Sponsors. Feeling empty. I think that's the heartbreak, is you feel empty. But I also feel like you put walls up that need to come down to new places that are options that are positive instead of options that always are going to lead to heartbreak constantly. And that you keep overextending yourself to like cut off the new to give option for the old. Ten of Swords reversed. Wow, you are not willing to let go of the pattern of being heartbroken by continuing to go and hang out or talk or communicate or stay in the same thing. But you might be finally releasing this week. That's good news. Five of Wands reversed. Wow, the wall's got to come down, and then at the same time, you can't be afraid of getting a little bit messy in new situations, a little bit intense. Perfectionism is definitely not something that's gonna happen in life. I feel like at the same time too, it's like there's not enough. Like, I think that there's the desire to have so much, yet not willing to go. You expect other people to show up fully, but there's a little bit of misrepresentation on saying that and acting as that and then showing up as that. You might be feeling that with other people, but I think you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself right now. You pulled the part of fortune. You can't. There's a great increase in your life coming here. And the boundaries. With that Nine of Wands reversed and that Five of Wands reversed and the boundaries, and it's aiming in that direction, I'd say that you're keeping boundaries from increasing your life and the great fortune that you want. I feel like you're just kind of sitting on the edge of greatness and what you really want, but just dealing with that sadistic quality of like, well, I'll just keep kind of doing what I know instead of really going into the new waters of the unknown. And so you're bound to not increased instead of unbound and unchaining yourself for the ultimate increase in your life. And that's a pattern that's got to be broken about the heartbreak. You're afraid of heartbreak, so you stay in heartbreaking situations because you're afraid of heartbreak, which makes no fucking sense. But it does to you. I mean, you know. The third house, Libra, Jupiter. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely a new stimulating, exciting relationship, communication, and more on your level. Like, I feel like it's not twin energy, but I would say it does feel more like twin-like. I think that you can't be dealing with anything that just feels like so opposite than you. Like, it's not going to work anymore. And I think that that's your issue, is like you need to expand the horizon and look more at what the facts are about if this really feels like we're very similar and we're in the same kind of environment and we have the same kind of vibe, because you're not going to get any good luck if you're with partnerships that don't carry that same vibe as you and don't carry that same energy. And you have to match that energy as much as they're willing to match back, and they have to match that energy as willing you're to match back. But you got to look at yourself first, because if you're saying it's all them not showing up the way you want to, but you really look at yourself and you're not, then it's like, oh shit. Then maybe you're not on their level, or maybe they're not on your level. These are deep questions.
Yeah, there needs to be a release. You know, a lot of the times we kind of hold ourselves in this cage, you know, being a Scorpio, of the pondering and the thinking, and we don't necessarily let ourselves release. It's kind of what I was saying about the Aquarius, and letting ourselves grow and expand and everything. I actually had a nice emotional release on Saturday, which I'm sure we'll get into on full disclosure. So if you are a High Vibe member, because that show is specifically for High Vibe, but it's that processing of it, and it's that acknowledgement that we can move forward from any of those traumas, or even the traumas that we put on other individuals, because those can hold us back as well. When we hurt somebody, and this is for anybody. If you hurt someone, that weighs heavy on us. But that's life as well. The pain aspect, just as well as the love aspect. It's a duality of life, and so it comes with that processing, and it comes with that knowing. But you can't be afraid to be hurt, and you can't be afraid to hurt again. Because some things just aren't going to work out. That's just the truth of it. And we can't be afraid. We can't be afraid to let that love in for as long as that love might last. It might be a short trip around the sun with that one, but it could be blossom into something beautiful, and it will just grow, and it could be natural. Find time to laugh again. Find time to find that happiness again, and be yourself. And if you've lost who yourself is, you're in there. You just got to ask yourself the right questions to be able to dig out those answers that you are searching to find, because they're in there fully. But you have to allow yourself to release the tension, release the pressure that's building up inside, so you can just get out there, let that party go, be the party, be the aspect, be the happiness in your life that you're searching for first, and then the rest will fall into place.
Yeah, because I got an image of like, it's very scorpionic, right? It's like you get to a point to where it gets all the way to where you've literally ingested every part of something, to where it now has to digress into a transformational experience. It's like a black hole, right? It's like there's expansion of the universe, and then it all comes and retracts all back, and then implodes into a new place. And I think that this is like an implosion into a new place, and letting go of the attachments to things that you already have dug up as much as you can. There's not much more to get out of it. So it's it's transformation at its fullest, and letting go is one way to put it. But I would say with Scorpio, it's fully the release you talk about. It's a release of trying to understand more and go deeper and see if there's anything more. It's like a detective that wants to see if can I just find one more little bit of evidence, that there's something here? And that's heartbreaking when you just are Dick Tracy, and that movie, I don't know, probably came out, 35, 40 years ago, and it's you're still on the case, and you're still driving the yellow car, and you're still wearing that outfit, and you're still trying to find the same shit.
Scorpio party, baby.
I think it is party. I think it is. Cancers. I think it is party. Hold on, let me adjust my beanie that people think I'm, proud to wear, I guess. Proud. Freaking so stupid. Oh my gosh. I've been protecting my third eye with this. That's what I found out recently. Doing this work and fucking projections out there from this fucking crazy ass fucking monstrosity of a fucking dark energy out there. It's fucking working on all these fucking people. It's fucking not letting them touch my shit. And now it's coming through others. That's when the zombies are around. All right, Cancer. How you doing? Cancer? Let's see what's going on for your love life this week. My Cancers. You pulled the Fool card reverse. I think you're done being a complete idiot. I think that you see what you just are so stupid to keep doing, and you're overdoing that. And I also see Cancers that see exactly what they want to have, and the idiot of not following up on it, or making a connection, or doing things. I feel like Cancers just continue to fuck themselves in both directions. I'm going to keep doing what I don't want to do, and I'm going to keep looking at the things I want to do and not do anything about them and miss my opportunities. And the Full reversed is let's be empathetic to the fact that it's okay to feel stupid. It's okay to be I am an idiot. But accepting that this week and then doing something about it is going to be everything. Your challenge that you got for this week is the Six of Swords reversed. You're afraid to move on to the new awesome waters. I mean, look at this couple in a zombie apocalypse. They're ready to go. Look at, she's got a fucking, that's another, man, they love Uzis. Man, she's got the Uzi. What's he doing? Looks like he's just down just to be there and watch his girl do that. And they're getting out of the zombie apocalypse, probably going to the island of Lost. It's awesome. But, you know, you're afraid to move to new waters of idiocracy, if that's even a word. So your overall that you pulled here is the Three of Cups. I mean, it's, I think, a magical party that you could be having right now, and a magical story, and one that's going to be the world and the connections and the vibe that you want to be in. I think that this is definitely a colorful world that you want to go into, that you don't have to be the idiot and keep it colorless. And yes, it's a card of parties and socializing, but I feel like that's the energy of like being on the same table socially. Like, you know, it's almost like you could be with a partner and like you have nothing in common. I've been in that kind of relationship. It sucks. And I think that this is what it's calling for. But you're afraid to move on to that. You're afraid. I think that and I pulled this straight right at the beginning. It's very clear. Let's get the clarity for you. But I'm just going to say it's very clear that this is about you feeling stupid, about being in situations you don't want to be in, and then feeling stupid when you see what you want to be in and you don't do anything about it. And you got the Page of Swords. Look, it's about communication. It's about communicating and not being an idiot and being clear on where you're an idiot and doing something about it, like, and saying something about it and understanding the information and doing something about it, like making the contact or saying what you want to say. Like, this is what you have to do. Like, just can't just know you're an idiot. You got to actually, like, the only way to fix feeling like you're a complete idiot is to actually say something and actually do something instead of just own that you were an idiot this life. It's like, you don't need to end your life this way. Doesn't have to go down with that as your story. Wow, you pulled Three of Cups on Three of Cups. I can't make that shit up. Like, the ultimate, like, where you are surrounded by the energy that's similar within you, and it's a good time. I feel like you're looking for a good time relationship instead of a boring, similar, fucking, not even similar, unsimilar situation. Just doing it to do it. The shadow card to that Six of Swords, look at that, blinded to pain. It's like, you see the pain that you keep going through, but you don't. Like, you don't want to deal with the pain of realizing that you're afraid to move to the new waters. Wow. You pulled the Love card, 5th house, creativity. It's like, this can be fun, and creative and exciting in a whole exciting, magical story. Not just a story, not just, you know, a story that everybody already knows, like how it's going to probably go and how it's going to be. And I pulled this again, but it was Eight of Swords reversed. You can get you out of untoxic shit if you're really ready. Home. I got a feeling Cancers don't feel like they're truly at home in their full happiness and love story. I think that it's like a facade. It's like you're blinded to the pain that actually it is if you were to realize the truth that you don't feel at home with your heart. And I think that that's the deep truth that you need to listen to and hear, because this is what's going to change the ballgame for you, is like creating that energy of home by happiness, love, joy, and feeling that you're connected socially on a level that's super exciting, double time over, and saying what you say and not being an idiot and continuing to not say and not be honest with yourself, and also make the contacts or make the aspects to what you see is what you want, that you feel like an idiot that you don't do anything or jump on it. Your astro dice are Scorpio South Node in the 10th. I think that's what you're obsessed with, holding on some sort of reputation of how your life should look. single or not single. And it's like, you need to get to Taurus 4th house. Like, what do you really want to have? What do you really want to feel? And what's the best for you? And that's what you need to go towards, because I feel that you're stuck in some sort of like, well, the rules say, or this is what tradition is doing, and I'm going to keep doing the traditional thing. I'm all in on that. And I want to project out, and I want to, you know, come across as attractive as the traditional thing. And I think that this is like you being an old grandma or grandpa that you're obsessed with being, instead of like letting yourself be the true mother energy and create the beautiful life that you want to have physically. I don't feel like that there's enough physically going on for you. I think that you're not attracted, I don't think, to your partner, or I think that you're in a relationship that doesn't have much spice in it at all, and excitement or love or happiness. I think it's like what you create in yourself because you're so emotionally loving. But I don't think that when you look at the facts, and I think when you look at the facts, you're gonna be like, what the hell? What the hell?
You know the saying, I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time. You know, and I think that sometimes needs to be embraced. You know, we put these, you know, these limitations, these stringent aspects and goals on our life, instead of just allowing ourselves to enjoy the time that we're living, to enjoy the individuals that we're around. Instead of just, you know, it doesn't need to be so serious. You can literally just enjoy yourself. You can literally just enjoy the people that you're with. That's going to bring so much happiness into your life, so much happiness into yourself, instead of just focusing on, oh, but it's not looking exactly how it should, or the way that I thought that it would be. There's going to be beauty around you always, but you have to be willing to see it. You have to be willing to adapt to the different situations that you're put in, the different situations with the individuals that you love. And that could be friends, that could be, you know, lovers. That could be a relationship. And you know, we always talk about the relationship with yourself is the most important. You know, if you're not happy with yourself, there's nothing that any individual is going to be able to do to kind of bring you out of that funk. You have to be able to dig yourself out first and foremost, and get that steady ground, get those feet underneath you so that you can stand tall, so you can stand in that appreciation. So again, you know, might not be here for a long time, but here for a good time. You know, appreciate that aspect of it and appreciate yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, think about 2020 as it is, right? We all know it's all resetting everybody's lives. Like, I think, like, and that's why I predicted for years that in the astrology, based on us being an astrologer and the astrology too, it's just that we were all coming to the end of karmic relationship energies. I think that Cancers have that writing on the wall the hardest, because you do have the most planets in Capricorn. This week you're going to have the Moon, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto here. And it's like, are you ready to make a choice about what you really want to have in your life and go for it? Whatever that looks like, whatever it has to remove or whatever it has to gain. Like, I feel like it's like you'd be blind. You're blind to the pain that you're going through. You're numbing the pain. You're numbing it by not doing anything about it.
FOMO.
Straight FOMO in life. Come on. Virgos. And then we have 3 left, which I'm assuming is Leo. I already know that. I don't think that we've pulled Sages yet. And I don't think we've pulled Capricorns yet. You know, I mean, we are coming into Saturn Aquarius. It's like Nirvana came out and just did their thing, you know. It's like they went different. Like the whole world just changed. Movies changed. I had a deep conversation this weekend with somebody about that this weekend about like how Pulp Fiction, right? Like Quentin Tarantino, like threw the whole movie industry on its head. And then I used the Nirvana expression, and he was like, wow, that makes so, whoa, from the, you know? And like, I think that all relationships have to kind of look at it like that. Like, you know, I love Van Halen, but at that time, like, they went from everything to nothing in a minute. And that's what happens in life. Sucks. We're reprogramming. What's going on with the Virgos? Well, you did get the Page of Cups. So I would say that it's an important time for you to allow yourself to communicate your feelings, but also try and understand how you've communicated your feelings. Because, it's time to come from a joyous place. And I think that it's a time for Virgos to really realize that, coming across lighter emotionally does a lot better than so serious about the emotions. It's not attractive. And there's something about the Page of Cups. It's like having a good time and delivers a positive message that kings and queens want to hear. But pages that show up with an emotional message that's like, all intense and sappy and too deep, too fast, too intense. It's like, that's not the letter people want. When you pulled the World card as your challenge, I feel like your world is unknown in your love life. I feel that you also kind of feel like you don't know where to take your love life in your world. And you could also be dealing with, I'll be honest, everybody see the World card as a challenge. It's like you're in a world that you don't want to be in that's not allowing your love life to come to fruition. Or you're feeling like your world's changing your love life and you're making adjustments to it and it's a little uncomfortable right now. But it also is about learning to communicate and see things from a much more positive and more happy-go-lucky space. You did pull the Three of Pentacles. So I think that there's, especially when it comes to partnerships, like what are you going to go create? What are you going to go build? What are you going to go do? I mean, I think it's like, you got to look at the world that you're around and make sure that you're around people that you can go create something with. I think doing something with a partner right now that you can create something with without also I think, trying to have like that you're the one that's in charge of it. Like, it's like both parties are both engaged or multiple. It also could be love triangle energy, always the Three of Pentacles. I mean, overall, it's like maybe you're still on the fence about one person and still on the fence about another person. Or maybe you're in a relationship situation with one person and you're thinking about another person. You don't know how to deal with this shit right now. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that was coming up right now in your life. Wow, you've been forgetting oneself, I think, but that also means like who your true self is. I feel that, you've kind of lost yourself in the world of an identity that's not who you are, which has communicated irregularly who you really are. So you have to re-examine who you really are in the kind of energy and the kind of world that you live in, because so with me, right, it's easy to say like, okay, like people, especially like this weekend, it's like, okay, yeah, you're that astrologer guy, you're that DJ jet ski dude, like that's my world and I do it every day, so it's pretty easy who I am. But like if I was to say, or if I was to be in a world that was opposite of that, like if I was like this weekend, let's say, I don't know, at some bowling championship, I like to bowl, but I'd feel out of place. People would think I was a bowler, and maybe the kind of women that would want me don't like bowlers. So I think that you got to kind of look at like your surroundings more and what you're doing with your surroundings and how that attracts people or it repels people too. You did pull the Wheel of Fortune. So, I mean, I think that your ultimate fortune here and allowing the change to happen to give you to the ultimate fate is by communicating from that happy-go-lucky space and to allow yourself to communicate the feelings from a much more positive energy and in a much lighter tone. And this whole issue with another person or thinking about another person, because I think it's in the back of your mind and you're probably bouncing out different people. Even if you are in a full committed thing. You pulled the Star card reverse, so I would say that there's a lot going on here that you're feeling guilty, especially as a Virgo, and you don't know how to deal with it, and it's okay to like cleanse yourself of this energy so you can find the real answers, because you got to get back to yourself in the environment and the world that you're in. I think that's a lot of the deep work here for you this week in love, and I think that it's not about other people. Like, I think that you've been putting it on others to take it off yourself. pulled the Jupiter return. You got huge benefits from doing that this week. And you did pull the relief card. So I think that the ultimate relief and the ultimate benefits are showing up for you this week. And I think it really is just like coming from a new angle, looking at the environment. Are you willing to make changes? And I think getting off the fence and clearing the energy of like getting real clear in yourself of like, okay, like I can't be continuing to be on the fence about looking at different people, or maybe you're afraid to face even your partner about, is there another person involved? Like, what's going on? Like, that might be a very sensitive spot that you feel like it's very toxic and you can't cleanse yourself from, but you also are afraid to deal with it too, or even handle it. So there's relief and there's benefits that come when you do, when you realize that maybe that's not happening, or if it is, this still gives you the relief that you find, and you can find yourself again. But I feel that, you know, that could be a possibility, but I think a lot more possibilities here is like, I think that your whole entire reality is not able to create and co-create the things that you want to, because you're not inputting or living in the life that draws the partners in that would even create the world that you want to have. You pulled Aquarius, Neptune in the 11th. So, I mean, this is your understanding of the world and society, and the false projection of how you are naive enough to believe that it's all connected, when really it's like there's an illusion about how that world is that you're living, and a delusion within yourself that you have to confront about the way you connect with people and how you project yourself to others, because I think that there's a false projection that's been coming out that has to be removed.
It can be a tough process, you know. It can be a tough road to travel when we're not confident in who we are and the message that we're kind of putting out, because we're always constantly, you know, figuring and trying to kind of one up our energetic level, you know, or what we're putting out there into the world, because the complacency is never gonna be fulfilling. You know, there always has to be that next step, whatever that is, and that could just be the next step of happiness, or finding a new recipe that you want to cook with, finding a new place to go and eat. I love food and I love cooking. But whatever it is, you know, you can't get stuck in the frustration of trying to figure it out, you know, of what's going to be coming next. Who am I going to be next? Be confident in the message that you're putting out there. It's going to show. And then people are going to pick up on that. But it comes from that confidence from within. It comes from that understanding yourself. And that can take time. So don't get lost in the frustrations if you're still figuring it out, if you're still trying to piece together who it is that you really are in this life, who it is that you want to be, and who are these individuals that you want to have in your life fully for the long term. Those frustrations can kind of tear us down and take us many, many steps backwards. Just keep progressing, you know, have the confidence that you are thriving, that you are going to be able to find that love, that you are going to be able to fix, you know, any issues that maybe you're dealing with lovers. And if your relationships are going great, build on that. Build on that foundation. Build on that foundation of love and that appreciation, so that you can have that stronger bond. Because there's always room to evolve. There's always room to grow, no matter what space you are in this life.
Yeah, because I think it's a growing process in life. But I think getting back to the world, the environment, the place of who we are, that's difficult. Like, I mean, and, you know, I used to run with a lot of bad boys, and it just wasn't who I am, and I never went down that road. And if I would have stayed on that road because I was too afraid, and I tried to defend that road or something and stayed on that road, I to be honest with you, I wouldn't be here, and I don't think I would have anything even close to the beautiful love stories I've had in my life, because I would have stayed on that road. And I think it's more about like the choices Virgos have to make about their ultimate path. It's what the North Node Gemini is about right now. And I would say there's this like numbing and comforting element of just like trying to stay and keep safe with what's already known, instead of going into new territory and taking a risk to be the true self, which that's hard for anybody. But for Virgo, it's definitely a challenge at the moment. Safety's coming up a lot. Capricorn. The Cappies are in the house right now. Most of them might be asleep. They have their some of the Capricorns might have their calendar next to their bed with the pen. And it was like, it says bedtime, 10 p.m. And then the next day it says, wake up, 6 a.m., breakfast, 6:20. See what's going on with Cappies. Strength card reversed. All right, so this week definitely you're going to be tested on whether or not you have the strength to hold your own when it comes to the real love story that you want, or are you gonna fold, and are you gonna give in and to what you don't want? I think that's been a story. That's the theme that you're coming into this week. Like, you're coming into this week with this theme of like, I'm not strong enough. I don't feel strength. I don't feel like I really want to be seen the way I want to, and so forth. It's like, and strength card reverse is like forcing strength, forcing things too much. It's untamed. And I think that this is something within you that you have to really start to realize, like, why are you so untamed at the moment? Like, why can't you just like find that strength? If something's not working, it's not working. But forcing it makes it even more abrasive. You pull the devil as your challenge. I think that you're dealing with a lot of intoxication of like obsession, or you can't let go of something. And that's your challenge. You know, is that a zombie hand in there? Oh, he didn't make it. Oh, look at her above. Vice cigarettes. Nice. Have you ever thought about that? Vice media now, actually, it's kind of like, it's kind of dark, actually. They went really dark, by the way. So I think that you don't feel like you have the strength to get rid of the attachments that you have to situations that aren't giving you what you want and making you feel empty. You got the angel of the night. You know, I think that you need to remember that power that you have, but I also think that it's like, you know, you're seductive and your great powers, but I think that you don't know how to show them. I think that it's because you don't have the strength to show them. I think that you try too hard. You don't know how to naturally be in that, and I think that you have to regain that within yourself here. And I think that you're attached to things that you're trying to prove, when the angel of the night is one that people go after, not that the angel of the night goes after anything itself. I think that you're trying to go after something, or trying to save something, or trying to be this. Is this really you? I mean, I think that you're asking yourself, like, why am I being this way? Like, why am I doing that? I think because you're being something that you're not, and I think that that's the challenge. And you're addicted to, and you're complying to things that are not you. And I think that you continue to do that. And I think that that's making you not feel strong at all this week. But you got to remember, there's a passionate and seductive quality to the angel of the night that understands how to attract what she wants instead of to rush after it or be abrasive after it. One, you got the King of Swords reversed. So, I mean, this is definitely not feeling very assertive and understanding, especially with the logical end of things. And I don't think that you feel very understanding at all in what you're doing right now. So it's almost like a last-ditch attempt to do things that maybe aren't really thought out full, or I meant you like, this is a lot of unconfidence going on in yourself, especially because I think that you're doing everything that you don't want to do. And I think that it's like, why keep doing what you don't want to do? Like, you're going to feel unconfident. You're not going to feel strong. You're not going to feel clear. And with that angel of the night, you pulled the two of, you're juggling your own power and abilities. Like, you don't even know what side you should do it all from. But it's about learning to, I think, integrate both sides. I think that you're juggling, like, should I be this? Should I be that? How do I do this? I think that there's a lot of all over the place here in yourself. And I think that it's all over the place on energies that are not worth your time and energy. And I think that, you know, there's like a little bit of like scaring people away. Whenever I see the strength card reversed, and especially a King of Swords reversed, like, that's terrifying. Like, that's terrifying. It's like somebody who's trying to prove strength. It's like somebody who takes steroids and, like, you know, it's just like, and then the King of Swords reversed, it's like somebody who's just rapping out that and screaming that out in a way that that's not really who you are, and it's coming from a place of like trying to have at the last ditch effort what you really want, but the zombie comes and eats you right before you get the cigarette out of the cigarette thing, and that's a vice. And you know, you're balancing your powers. You don't even know how to use them. You're juggling your powers. You're in the circus right now, and you've created the circus yourself. You pulled the Sagittarius card. It's time to understand and look bigger and to look at the whole picture here and to be more understanding and to follow the road that really will take you to the hopes and dreams that you want to be on, instead of, I think, creating hopes and dreams off things that aren't understood by knowing and seeing all the data that the story's not going to go that way. So why keep trying to make the story that way? And well, I keep pulling the wrong card, but you pulled the Three of Swords with that, but you did well. You got the Death card. Oh wow, this is definitely you having to cut something really hard off because it's not you. And I think that it's like you can't force anything in life. And I think that you're so afraid of heartbreaking, you don't realize the beauty by moving on to explore different territory. So I feel like that you're addicted to feeling like that somebody can define you or has defined you and they haven't. I think you might have allowed them to, but that doesn't. You're wearing the wrong clothing. It's not your clothing. You got 9th house Sag South Node. That's interesting. I think that you believe things should look a certain way. When I think that you need to go, let me look at the details in the environment. And if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. And that's it. It's like quick, easy, fast. Stop hyper believing that you can fix something or that something will just be the story you want to be when it's not that story. That's delusional and that's scary.
And sometimes we're too close to that story. Sometimes we're too close to the painting. It's funny that you brought that up because I was really thinking that. Sometimes you have to take a step back to really see the full picture, to see the full scope of the situation that you're in. When we're in too deep, we're too close to that, we're too close to an individual, sometimes we can even be too close to ourselves, and then we can't be real with the actual issues that are kind of plaguing us and bringing us down. So I think it's time that you kind of take a step back and realize what's going on in your life. It's time to take a step back and kind of lay all the cards out, so to speak. Lay those tarot cards out. And figure it out. What is the picture that's actually being shown to the world around you? What is the picture that you are painting? Who are you? Are you in that painting? Are you playing the game? Or are you creating the magic? Because there can be both. You can be a player in the game while you're creating magic, or you can just be kind of operating in a robotic manner and just kind of going with the motion and not actually creating this beautiful masterpiece that you're so capable of doing. Everybody needs that time to kind of process. Everyone needs that time to kind of take a look and see what's in the life, but sometimes we don't do that. Sometimes we don't give ourselves the time to kind of wind down a bit and figure out what's actually going on in our life and what is actually beneficial and what's not beneficial. So I think it is time that you take a step back from your life and see all the cards that are laid out. See that beautiful painting that's laid out, because when you're up too close, it can just feel like a bunch of little dots here, but when you take a step back, it's this beautiful waterfall. It's this beautiful goddess or this beautiful god that you're kind of trying to bring into your life. But without that full picture, you're never going to be able to see it. You're never going to be able to believe it. And you're never going to be able to have it in your life. Gang signs again?
No, that was me acting you out from everything you were saying.
Well, there we
Which
go.
I think is very true and very good knowledge, by the way. And actually, it's ironic. I feel like everything that you said is acting instead of being. And I think that also it's like choosing things that are stories instead of reality. And like love is not a story. Like we always say it's a love story. It's like love, if you're in love, you're not in a story because the story is past tense. The story was, the story goes.
Right, love is creation.
Yeah. And it's in the moment. So it's about getting out of that story and being in love itself. All right, last two. It's going to be Sag or Leos. I wonder who's it's going to be right now. Leos. Well, it is Sag's birthday coming up, so I guess they did get it last. All right, Leo, let's see what's going on. Wheel of Fortune, baby. Just take your hands off the wheel and let fortune go where it's supposed to go, Leo. Woo. All right? Can I get a...
Take the wheel, world. Take the wheel.
Folks, fortune's here for Leos. But if you're trying to control things, Leo, it won't work. With the Wheel of Fortune, you gotta take your hands off the wheel and let everything, fate go the way it is. You don't need to try too hard. You don't need to try to text too much. You don't need to call. Nothing. I can talk to my fellow Leos. Gosh. Nothing bothers Leos more in the world than people that don't know how to just take their hands off the wheel and let things work out as they are. Like Leos get projected on a lot of like, you're not showing up. And it's like, what the fuck, I'm doing shit. You know, and you're not showing up or it's like kings and queens show up when people, I don't want to say know how to be, but it's kind of just like, you have to understand how Leo works, right, Leos? So this is like, I think you just sitting back and being like, okay, who knows how I am, and who knows how I am and how it works. Like, you don't have to do much, just to be yourself and just kind of, and if this week you try to go after something this week, it won't happen. Just like let things come to you the way they're supposed to naturally. The High Priestess card, the challenge. So, you know, this is definitely, you know, maybe feeling disconnected from your guides, not knowing what to do with your love story, feeling like Spirit's giving you messages, but maybe you're not taking them, you're not listening to them. So fortune's coming, but you're going to like have to listen to your guides about it. Might look like it's a lot of fortune in a lot of areas, but it's like, oh, your gut already knows that this isn't the fortune. And that's when you let your hand off the wheel and go, oh, that's not where it spun on to. Seven of Cups, upright. So, I mean, I think overall for you, there's a lot of possibilities here and there's a lot of dreams, but I think that there's a vetting process here with your gut that you're not doing as much. It's almost like you're willing to, you know, observe. And I think that you're trying to find the ultimate fortune, but you know, you can narrow things down a lot quicker by listening to what your guides have to say. But at the same token, there's something here that's saying like, there's an ultimate dream. There's a vision, but does it always feel like it's just a dream and a vision, but you never get it in reality? And I think that might be something that's been hard, and maybe that's the fortune that you really want, is it to actually come true, like the dream to come true, instead of it just be like this pipe dream. Bride in a cage. So, I mean, I think that Leos feel trapped in their love stories, or the lack thereof especially, and feel like maybe Spirit's not working for them when it is. Fortune's there, the dream's there, it's in process and it's adjusting in divine timing right now. This is, well, the Goddess Ella card with the fortune. I mean, I got a feeling, Leo, the ultimate destiny, you'll know it. I mean, it is a Leo thing. Leo is a magical love story thing. Leo just knows. It's just like kabam. So let that happen. You don't go seek it. You're not stuck in a cage, and Spirit is not doing something to hold you in a cage. Maybe it is to give you to this thing, but that can be frustrating. But I also think that Leos have to like listen to your gut and then let go of, oh yeah, that's not going to work. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody, Leo. Especially as the Scorpio transit coming to Sag, the 5th house is coming up, the 4th house. Like I'm going through personal life shit. I'm changing my personal life up, filling my cup up for a minute, you know, and that's important. 5 of Pentacles with that. So it's like, there's the Leo victim aspect of the dream not coming true and nothing's going the way that I want in love. And I think that that's what this Wheel of Fortune's trying to bring in, is like, let go of that story, let go of that you're stuck in love, and just let it happen and see what happens. Take your hand off the wheel. Stop trying to do something, or trying to intervene, or trying to do something, or anybody's trying to force you, you know. They'll either show up in the proper way or not. And the Cancer card came up, so definitely pay attention to Cancer energy, but it's like, people who really can express feelings with you and know how to hit the feelings that get your feelings going. Because, I almost feel like it's hard being a Leo. Like, we feel deeply, we love deeply, and people, we can relate and feel that feeling. But it's like, it's the only people that become king or queen in our lives that are the ones that like truly let us know how they feel and express that feeling and know how to show that feeling and not make it feel like it's forced. And stop playing victim that your love story is just shit. King of Wands reverse. I wasn't supposed to pull these cards, but a soulmate. Wow. It's exactly what I was saying. Soulmate energy or relationships that Leos end up in are ones where you can feel like it deep. And they know how to connect that full feeling, and it's a magical thing. And right now with King of Wands reversed here, in between these two cards with the Bride and the Cage, it definitely feels like you're not in your prime of your love story, or you're not feeling confident in your love story. And I think that, you have to let these feelings come out, and that ultimate soulmate will see that or know that and know how to come in, opposed to, and especially with this Goddess Ella card, like this is the most unique card in that whole deck. So, and it's upright. So I would say that this is a great week, but this is a lot of your perspectives about this tragic love story, which is already like not so much about a tragic situation, but the tragic moment of, you're not feeling what you want to feel in your dreams of your love life exactly. And that can change when you finally let that go. We did see Pluto pop just out now, Gemini in the 5th. So, I think that this is removal of these kind of facts that aren't facts anymore, and this kind of mindset about your heart. And when the mind rules the heart, and there is no love. So I would say that this is about, a complete end to and a change about how you think about love and how you communicate love. And really, it's just about how you express yourself and how you communicate to yourself and how you communicate love and how your mind sees love and how you find ways to also some way know how to attract in the stimulating love that you need. Because you're either all in or all out depending on the stimulation, the excitement, and the twin-like energy of love. Anything that's not in alignment with that, it's out, and anything that is, it's totally in.
It's that gravitational pull. It's being yourself and knowing that truth, being able to project that out into the world, which you do, but sometimes it's easy to get lost, or easy to kind of get misinterpreted a bit. And then some people might take that as a forced situation, when in all reality, you're just being yourself. You're being your truth. And if you're living it, then the individual is going to be attracted to you, and you're going to be attracted to yourself as well. You're going to find that happiness within inside yourself, and it all works together. It's all going to spin around in this big ball of fire, this big ball of lust and love and affection, and it's going to be there. And it may take time. It may take a little bit longer than expected. It may take time to work through the traumas and the wounds, and that individual might be dealing with the same aspects of it, but it will all come into place when it's supposed to. When it's the right timing, when it's not forced, when it is just the natural selection. But it's there fully. It's there fully once you get the grip, once you get that appreciation back, and once you fully fulfill your life in that stimulation and in every aspect that's needed for you.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what I just pulled is kind of like Leo's like crutch, is like always feeling like the love story, the dreams of the love story is never turned out right. I know in my life, I am different though. I'm born with Venus square Saturn, so, and we're in that this week. And I have Mercury in my Saturn like right now, so that's why you're seeing a different Leo King tonight. Again. Because when Venus was retrograde on my Saturn, or when it was on my Saturn like 5-6 weeks ago, I was like, yeah, Mercury's on my Saturn. And I think that Leos just have an overall feeling like the people that they want or the people that they see don't see them or don't like them or don't want to be with them. And it's a story in where you just have to let go of that story and just let it all naturally, selectively by the universe happen. Sagittarius, you're the last one. So if I was correct in my head, it is Sagittarius. All right, Sag, let's see what's going on. Happy birthday, Sag, for those that are born later this week. Let's see what's going on. The Eight of Pentacles upright. I think this is a big test this week. And this is also something that sees, and it's kind of interesting that I'm pulling this up. You found, or you want to find, or you have found, and you continue to kind of come back to it, a conveyor belt that works. Does it work enough? Did you get enough lessons from this? Is this what you want to keep staying in, the same creative cycle? Might be great. Is there better? It is only an 8 card, so it is kind of like a repetitive cycle. I would say it's a repetitive cycle. Like, you learn the skills, you have the ability of this relationship to do things, but is it really going where you want it to go? Or did you achieve something at one time you thought was what it was, but now there's more to look at in life? The challenge here is the Judgment card, finding a deeper purpose. I think that this is the issue. It's like you can't convert people to the conveyor belt you want of your relationship that doesn't have the same mission in life. And when I mean mission, I mean spiritual mission, which is to destroy all the zombies at the end of the day with the big bomb in this deck. So it's like, oh, I kind of like helping people who've been affected by zombies, but I don't want to get rid of the zombies fully. I'm not ready for that path. It's like, come on, Sag. Like, you're on the same conveyor belt with the same kind of people, and they're not on the same spiritual mission as you. So why do you keep fucking around with that? 8 of Pentacles reversed. Wow. I had a weird feeling that the conveyor belt was something you were getting over overall. The same repetitive cycle. Black flower fragrance. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. When I see this as your shadow underneath this, it's like you're attracted, or you're attracting, or you're still in, the kind of partners you choose, or relationship situations in, where you're just more about the attractive quality of somebody that isn't part of the mission. And that's what's making it weird, is like you're attracted to them, but you're not. You're like in, but you're out. Like you're not fully in, because you're only attracted to one part of them, not all parts of them. And then you're just kind of focusing on that one part, and it's off your mission. And you did pull the Queen of Cups reverse. So I don't think that you feel comfortable at all. You don't feel like you're going to actually have the ability to emotionally hold or receive the emotional support and the emotional needs that you need to have by staying on the same belt, doing the same thing, doing the same skills and talents of this relationship and what it's producing out. I don't think it's producing out exactly what you emotionally want to right now. So you have to be honest with yourself and be like, can we connect on this level? Can we find this mission? Is this mission really there? Or are you only doing that because if I choose to leave? Or are you only doing that because, or are you doing somebody else's mission, not your own? Knight of Cups reversed. Stuck on the conveyor belt you don't want to do and feel stuck. Too afraid to move on to a different emotional place. Wow, a lot of cups, a lot of interesting energy with 2 8 of Pentacles and 1 reversed and Knight of Cups reversed, and you got the Queen of Cups reversed. So emotionally, you're not into the physical aspect of things. This is beyond mundane. This has become boring. I think trying to convert people is really boring, or you've been converted into another life, and that's really boring. Your overall here pulled the fire element, desire. I think that's what the lens to start to look at things from is really see, was it only desire without the mission? And then you're trying to put the desire of the mission into somebody. And so I think that there's a hot, cold energy here. It's like, there's a hot energy as far as like, okay, yeah, there's human to human, like genetic love aspects. But is the desire beyond that and to a higher calling here that is so important to look at? Divine masculine. I feel like you're trying to find the true, powerful, desirable element that connects all the desires in your life and the mission and the ethereal. And I think that, there's this divine masculine energy that you might be seeking, or the one even in yourself that you must find to take the action to define what the divine is, of the strength of the definition. of the light that you're trying to find in your life, instead of taking on like this role of, and I got a feeling, especially for women out there who might be with somebody who they're passionate about, but they don't see the divine masculine in its form, like that there's never going to be any desire there that you really want. That's what you're really looking for at the end of the day. You got the North Node in Gemini in the 5th. So, I mean, you need to focus on not only your relationship house, because it's Gemini, but you got it in the 5th. Like, this is like starting to focus on looking at the facts about the love story that you want and the excitement, the simulation. Because I said, I forgot what sign, it was kind of mundane and boring. Like, this is like straight up like waiting room style, like DMV line. And I think that you have the desire to get your license, right? Or get your registration done, but it's like, that much desire? Big questions.
You can't get stuck in that tunnel vision of life. You know, you can't just let it, get you trapped into this focus, and where you can lose out on that potential. You can lose out on that power that you're trying to grasp, that power that you're trying to bring into your life, and find that fulfillment. We can kind of just get stuck in this one thought process and miss out on everything else that's going on around us. Are we gonna reside in fear of looking around? Because that can be the aspect as well that's holding us back. The fear of looking for the greatness, the fear of looking for the love, the fear of actually looking for that appreciation that we deserve. So where is it that maybe you're kind of holding yourself back and having that self-limitation, whether it be doubt, whether it just be, hardship that you've gone through, whether it be that the pain and suffering? Because that's all going to be a part of it. It's going to be the duality of the love and the happiness and the joyfulness that we're all searching for. So it's there, but you just got to be willing to look around. You got to be able to see with your eyes and see with your heart, and actually be able to feel it and allow that in. And once you do feel it, go with it, run with that feeling, and let it take over and consume their life fully.
Yeah, and because somebody wrote in there, like, can you have all things in desire, like comfort and passion? And it's like, yeah.
Definitely.
And I don't think that it's something that, I think that, I don't want to trigger anybody, or even the person who commented that, because this is coming from a space of love. It's like, there are people out there that don't fuck around with relationships until they find that. Like, yeah, you can date and talk, and the mission is to try to connect to find that. And if it's not there, then it's okay to move on and find it until you find it. And I think we live in a world right now where it's like people feel like so responsible for like getting involved and then like chaining themselves to something because they found one part of it good, and like they feel too bad to like be honest and just with themselves. It doesn't, and if they ask, it's like just be honest with the other person, like, hey, or just be you, like just be you. You don't have to be anything for anybody. And I think that that's the problem. And I think this is an overall message for everybody. It's like, we live in a world right now, and we live in a world that has brought us to these moments where, especially people who believe in the whole patriarchy thing. If you believe in the patriarchy thing, then that means then you also believe in the patriarchy of how love should look like and what you should do and how it should be. And I think that all these shoulds is the problem. And I think that, the whole mission is to find a deep connection that really encompasses all the things that both partners are looking for. And if it does, then it does. And if it doesn't, you're not required to explain yourself fully. Like, you don't have to discredit yourself by acknowledging that you're doing something wrong for not connecting to what you feel is right. You don't have to prove it. You don't have to explain yourself. It's like, and people take that as like some horrible thing, but it's like, that it's you, and you choose whether you partner or not. We choose that all the time, right? We choose what insurance carrier we want. We choose what kind of brand of car we want, what brand of water or Sprite, or we choose the things in life that we want to connect with, or who we work with, or who we go to spend our weekend with, or who we we choose to do anything with or be friends with. I mean, like, and you don't have to explain yourself. Like, there was people I met this weekend I thought I'd be friends with for life, and they turned a little weird at the end, and I was like, yeah, no, it's not going to be that way. And I don't have to explain myself. I don't. If they try to call me and I don't pick up, I don't have to explain myself. I only have to explain myself to those that I make a commitment to, a full-blown commitment to. I hope that helps.
Yeah, I think you hit it on. You know, being authentic and being happy with who you are now, whether that is that you're still figuring it out. Like I said before, we all are figuring out different aspects in our life that are going to make us happy. But whatever that is, you know, feel fulfilled with it, with the journey, with the knowing, with that understanding of this life that you're living, about these individuals that you're with. And yeah, I mean, we have to cut people off, and that's okay. You know, that's a part of our own evolution. That's a part of knowing that these energies are no longer serving us, and they might have at this one point. And that's great, because that got you to where you are right now. But you can't be afraid to continue to progress your own life. You can't be afraid to cut individuals off and be okay with possibly not seeing them again, possibly not knowing them, because those individuals change as well too. That's the evolution of their life. We're all in this together, yet we're living this separate entity. We're living this separate energy. We're all going to be evolving at different speeds, at different places in our life, and it's going to bring that beauty to whatever that is that looks like for you. So just enjoy the ride. And don't trip, baby.
Don't trip.
Don't trip.
And I think the political thing over the last, years, more than that, has kind of brought up a whole thing too, right? It's like you don't have to explain yourself of what your political ideology is or why. But at the same time, you also don't have to stick to that either. And you don't have to explain yourself if you change your view. Like, it's like, you can see right now through the lens of that, the obsession that people will have and not be willing to question it either. And also, like, just be who you are and just be that. And the love thing, it's like people that project and come after you fucking because you don't want to be with them. That's their own thing to do. And they can create stories and create all this stuff and create drama and tell the world that you're this or you're that. It's happened to me plenty in my life. And it's just like, whatever. It's just like, have fun with that story. Have fun with that perspective. Because that's trying to own you. That's trying to own something that was never committed to. Unless I got down on a knee with a fucking ring. Or at least they got, because I've never asked a girl, I've only asked 3 girls in my life to be my girlfriend. Well, technically it would be like, if you include my high school 5, 2 of them in high school. But even with them, it was a full deal. Like, it wasn't like, do you want to be my girlfriend? You know what I mean? It was like, I made that a big deal. And I made it a very big, beautiful show thing. So, it's like, you don't have to, like, unless that's happened, you're in no man's land still. You're not in a defined relationship. So you can't start attacking undefined things. And that's what Libra teaches. Is like, that's why Aries is teaching Libra and Libra is teaching Aries. Like, Libra is like, I can only go after things once it's defined. And Aries is like, you can only go after things once it's defined. They're telling each other the same thing. That the only way they can work together is like, okay, you can't get divorced to somebody you're not married to. You can't get mad at somebody that is not your boyfriend or girlfriend over boyfriend and girlfriend issues. So hope that helps. Make sure that you join highvibe.tv. I'm back. I took a week off, showed up with lots of crazy videos in Sedona and all over the place, but I'm back. Took some time for myself, longest I've taken in a long time. And again, what we're doing at High Vibe is showing people that High Vibe is not defined by what a spirituality should look like, but the vibe of who you are and how you express yourself and just who you are. And whatever that vibe is the highest vibe you can be. And also Like when you know you can feel it, you know you can see it, like are you ready to actually do it? Because I'm taking our slogan and kind of adding to it. It's like, okay, you feel it and you know it, and are you ready to see it? And then once you are, like, what are you going to do about it? And I feel like, what are we all going to do about the things that we're so awake about right now? With Mars direct, it's a big thing about courage now, and you don't have to explain yourself for the direction that you want to go in your life. If there's no contracts, you need to only focus on the things that there are those things too. But anything that is not, and that is trying to pull you behind, is a test from the universe of trying to pull you away from your authentic self. I appreciate you all. Love you, Craig. Had a great fucking time this weekend, man. Fuck.
Hell yeah, brother.
And we'll see you on the next report. Please share this around.
See ya.